Brock, this isn't the time.
Shut up! Or I'll stick that cane right up your ass. Bobby, who, Bobby. Bob, you're going to stand here and pretend like you're the champion? Come on, Bobby. I mean, from one athlete to another, what's the pride in that? You know you didn't beat me Saturday night. Where's the pride in that, Bobby? Come on. Now, you know the only way you beat me Saturday night was because of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. You see, Bobby, I'm not mad at you. It's all good, man. It's all good. I am mad at Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Now, you see, after that little debacle of a wrestling match that we had, which was a good contest, Bobby, I'll give it to you. Kudos to you. Kudos. See, after that, Brock Lesnar took it upon himself and entered the Royal Rumble. Newsflash for you. Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble. Well, that ain't a knee slapper, buddy. That's not a knee slapper. Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, and because Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, that means when you win the Royal Rumble, like Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar, are you getting confused now? All right, you're following me, right? So Brock Lesnar gets to choose who he fights at WrestleMania. Now listen, no need to worry, Bobby. It's not you. You see, at WrestleMania, I'm gonna face Roman Reigns. It's got nothing to do with you, Bobby, but what it does have to do with you is at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns is going to be title versus title.
This is Referee Dan Perch, and come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It is episode number 49 of the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. That's right. You're listening to it right now. The Sit Down Mars podcast. What's going on? I got my boys AJ and Primo here as usual. What's happening, guys?
That's right. I just want to say, how about that intro with Brock Lesnar real quick? My favorite part about that is when he goes, "Kudos to you." And then he goes, "Kudos."
Funny Brock is
like he literally gives him kudos.
Kudos. It's amazing.
Definitely. Nice choice there, man. You guys loving Brock on the mic? This is good stuff
man.
here, right?
He is so funny.
Yep. And again, his voice doesn't match his, which makes him
beakiness.
even funnier.
Have you ever seen the movie Grown Ups?
With Adam Sandler?
Yeah. They have a big muscular dude, and the guy's like, "Hello, ladies."
All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's jump into it. I want to thank our sponsors right now. Coastland Apparel. Go to coastlandapparel.com and use promo code BIRDTV for 15% off your order. And as we've had Jet Designs, he is back once again to sponsor the pod here. So check out Jet Designs on Facebook if you need a custom die-cast made for your fantasy league, for yourself, for your collection. Racing season is just coming up around the corner. A lot of fantasy racing leagues are firing up here. So we got to check out Jet Designs there because he can hook you up with a very, very nice die-cast, as he's did quite a few for me here. So want to thank him, and also thank everyone listening right now on all the podcast platforms out there, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more, and on SportzWire online radio Fridays at 6:15. Right before the Thomas Bryce Show and throughout the week. If you like the pod, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from. All right, boys, let's get this show kicked off. I got a good pop of the pod here for you today. This one is, I have to say, man, he's probably in my top 3 wrestlers right now.
I'd just like to say that I don't know if we got introduced.
Well, okay, if we're gonna kayfabe, then I told you 2 episodes ago that I wasn't gonna always introduce you.
No, I was just kidding. I was just messing with you. Go ahead.
I was like, "What are we doing here?"
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just messing, just joshing.
All right. Well, since you've rudely interrupted my flow here, let me introduce the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer of the show, fresh back from St. Louis. Primo, what's going on, brother?
That's right, fresh back from St. Louis. I had a good time with family, good time with the boys. We all went and saw the Rumble. Welcome back to the award-winning Sit Down Marks podcast. That's right. We are the winners of the Longest Short Pants Award. We did it. We did it this year. Maybe next year we'll do it too. I'll let you know. But pass it on to AJ before I forget what to say.
The other babyface, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver still of the Griff Wagon. He's asking people to jump aboard. The assistant editor and producer of the show. The current, as of right now, did he hold on to it? I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But right now, he is the Kurt Angle champion. AJ, what's going on, my man?
I wasn't expecting that. That was awesome. It's great. It's great. I have a little advice for everyone really quick. If you're in a blizzard and you know how like when it's time to like your friends to move and stuff, you don't want to be the one that has a pickup truck.
Sure.
When there's a foot of snow outside, you don't want to be the one that has a Jeep because 15 people will text you, be like, "Come on, your Jeep." That's what I got going on today. I guess that's my longest short pants award.
All right, now let's get back to the podcast here.
Pants.
Today's pop of the pod, as I was going to say, this guy is hopping into kind of one of my, top 3 favorites right now. You hear me talk about him all the time. He's just got a big win on Impact Wrestling. I'm going to be talking about here shortly. I always like to pound on my chest when I say it, so let me go ahead and say it for you here. Jake, what's my name? Something!
What's my name?
AJ, this day in wrestling history and birthdays, man. This is that was a pretty hot start here with Jake. Something's got me fired up, man. Let's roll.
So, this day in wrestling history and birthdays, by the way, that is February 2nd for all you lovely marks out there.
22, right?
It is. It's a fun, one of those fun days where...
Yeah, we got another one later this month on the 22nd.
Oh, that one's better because there's an extra 2.
Yeah, be more 2s.
Today's like the hobo version of that one.
2.
That's like should be the 2nd of the month should be like the referee's holiday, right? 2 like National Referee Day. 2. See what I'm saying? Yeah, 2.
You know what else happened today?
What?
We won the Longest Short Pants Award.
We did win the Longest Short Pants Award. It was exciting. We were in contention. I had my concession speech all prepared because I didn't think we were going to win it. But
I can't wait to see that trophy.
Yes,
it's
pair of pants.
All right, so 2/2/22. What happened? Here we go, baby.
On this day in wrestling history, back when Dirty was working the rails, shoveling coal and stuff, and
working the poles.
And in 1914,
hard times, baby.
Hard
times, baby.
1914, we have Charlie Cutler, American heavyweight champion for just over a year at this point, defeats Henry Orderman, who claimed that title in Minneapolis, Minnesota. American heavyweight champion, Henry Orderman, and then Charlie Cutler and stuff. So
that was
next,
Jay's dad.
It was
Jay?
Jay
Cutler.
What
Jay
about
Cutler,
Steve?
yes. Let's not talk about Jay Cutler because he was I'm not even a Bears fan, and he's terrible. In 1928, and then we'll get to actual ones. Ed the Strangler Lewis defeats Wayne Munn in Michigan City, Indiana. That's right. This is why I picked this one. In Michigan City, Indiana, to win the Illinois and Michigan version of the World Heavyweight title.
The Ileana title?
But it was in Michigan City.
But it was in Michigan City.
What?
So it took place in Michigan City, Indiana, but the title was the Illinois and Michigan
I couldn't just call it like the
World
Midwest
Heavyweight title.
Right.
Midwest.
It was probably already taken.
So Ed the Strangler won that. It unified it with his undisputed title. What was it undisputed with? I don't fucking know. Probably the Yermouth, Maine,
The Bunkhouse Bill Championship.
the Bunkhouse Bill Championship. So yes, good. Congratulations to Ed the Strangler, Bing Bong, or whatever the fuck his name was. We have an iconic day today.
Iconic.
In 1998, on Monday Night Raw, we had Cactus Jack take on Chainsaw Charlie, who was also known as Terry Funk, in the King of Hardcore match. However, it ended in a no contest when they got in dumpsters, and then other things happened that I'm not going to acknowledge. There will be a lot of acknowledging going on in today's episode.
Like acknowledging New Age Outlaws?
I don't know what you're talking about. Brock Lesnar,
you didn't know?
today in 2008 made his UFC debut against Frank Mir and would lose. He tapped out when Mir locked a knee bar and he submitted in 90 seconds.
In the rematch, though, he whooped his ass.
Very auspicious start for Brock Lesnar's UFC career.
In the rematch, he punched Frank Mir's head into the cage so many times.
I feel like Frank Mir had it coming.
Like he had Frank Mir on the mat, and Brock was just bashing his head, and Frank was just going boom into the cage. It was bloody.
Scary, man. And then finally in 2010, because the rest of these are not interesting, Vince McMahon appeared on an episode of ECW on Sci-Fi to announce that they were done.
Yep.
He showed up his only appearance. It was over.
It was his only appearance on there, I believe.
He's like, I've come here to shut it down.
Well, yeah, because he despised ECW basically.
Donald Trump! Yeah!
Nice.
Yep. And then, that is this day in wrestling history. We move on to birthdays. Yesterday, very fittingly, was Ronda Rousey's birthday, which the very controversial winner of Saturday's Royal Rumble. She was born in 1987.
Oh, no.
Today, we have Teddy Hart, born in 1980. Sure.
Teddy Hart, which one?
Playa?
No,
which one?
Not Teddy Long.
Teddy Long. Sorry, we were both thrown off, but yeah.
Yes,
Teddy Hart.
Teddy Long turned 42 today.
Of the Hart family.
Thank you.
Yes. I believe he's a nephew or cousin. Or something
he's
like
also
that.
A little wild, isn't he? He was like into the like indie scene, like some of the more hardcore matches, right?
Yeah. He had quite a following going for a while, man. He had a little pretty legendary kind of run going there on the indies for a while. So yeah, but
speaking of large men who like steroids, Brian Cage was born today in 1984. Allegedly, yes, of course. And then I don't know who this is. Isla Dawn. Who is Isla Dawn? I don't know. She was on the list, so I thought
Isla Dawn?
That's what I thought too, but sure. I looked it up and it's pronounced Isla.
Is it?
I don't know. Might be.
Isla
Dawn in 1994. That's it for today. But then tomorrow we have Haku, one of the legitimately scariest people to ever be in a wrestling ring. Was 1959. And then on this date in 1960, it's a fantastic combination. We have one Marty Jannetty, and then we have the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, born in 1960.
Man.
Nice. That is what I have for birthdays and this day in wrestling history.
Primo, man, we just fresh off the Royal Rumble, man. Anything in the headlines right now?
Yeah, we can talk about a few headlines in the news. Let's start off with Matt Hardy confirmed on his Twitch stream that WWE did indeed want to invite Jeff Hardy back, but he declined, and that Jeff's drug tests after Jeff Hardy and his wife having to basically beat down WWE's door to get him. They finally gave him his drug test back, and they were negative.
They were indeed negative. Yep.
I love that he declined. I want the Hardys back together.
That's right, and I am so glad that I, as a fan, and then as he's my favorite, so I'd never wanted to jump to any conclusions. And I was like, when people started jumping to conclusions about it, I was like, you guys didn't even hear him say anything about it yet, you know?
Right, yeah.
So, but unfortunately, when you have that type of history, that's what people are going to do.
I mean, I did.
Right. So moving on to Mojo Rawley. We know he hadn't been around in a while. You know, he don't just get hype; he stays hyped.
Right.
Well,
he's been staring at himself in the mirror for 3 years.
He announced via his Instagram that he's actually been fighting COVID and its effects for 19 months, and he actually almost died because of it.
The old long COVID. That's not good.
However, he is now on the road back to wrestling, and he will be returning soon.
Wow.
I'm okay with that. He's fun. I hate him, but he's fun.
Right.
He's fun to hate.
He's a good meathead role. And
he's
like Gronkowski wrestling version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And they're best friends.
So via WrestlingInc.com, Kurt Angle says that he will be involved in WWE for the next month or so.
Yeah.
Take that for what you will, but apparently he was hired for some on-screen appearances.
It's very fitting for today.
He's going to be an American Alpha. Thank you. Thank you.
Ring of Honor has announced. Excuse me, let me try that again. Ring of Honor has announced that the Briscoes will be the inaugural Hall of Fame class inductees.
I like it. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
We were speculating on that, last week?
We were. Yeah, okay. And the next announcement will be next Monday.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I like that.
We were speculating some singles.
Yeah, we didn't even think about
we didn't even think about tag teams. Yeah.
No.
So,
yeah.
I mean, when you think of the Briscoe brothers, you think of Ring of Honor. So
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're dumb. We're dumb is the moral of that.
Perch, but we are the winners of the
shortest long pants or the longest short pants.
The Capri Award.
The culottes.
The Lederhosen. Per Sean Ross Sapp, the November 4th group of WWE releases are now, as of today, free agents and out of their non-compete window. That includes the names of Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Ember Moon, Oni Lorcan, Gran Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Mia Yim, Harry Smith, Eva Marie, and Nia Jax.
Yep.
So that's pretty neat. You can start seeing these people where you think some of these names will pop up.
Who are you most excited to see out of that list?
Out of that list, I have Keith Lee, Ember Moon, and Karrion Kross. I'd say
those are the three that I am most excited to see too.
Well, I can tell you this: Karrion Kross has already got a promo video out there that
his hair now
about when he got released. So he's showing up somewhere. I always get Lindsay Dorado and the Laredo Kid mixed up. I would say I thought Lindsay Dorado was wrestling this weekend, but Laredo Kid is wrestling this weekend. But
Let's
Yeah,
say
Biff.
Dorado did say something like, "I'm fucking free."
Yeah, he did. Biff is going to be back in Beyond. He's Beyond Wrestling. He's loved
Right.
there.
Biff
So we're going to see
Music.
him there a lot. Yeah, man, like, and Bray's still dangling out there. But those out of those, yeah, probably those couple.
Apparently, Adam Scher, formerly known as what's his face? Get these hands. Damn, what was it? Braun Strowman.
Adam
There you go.
Scher, the
Adam
Titan.
Scher. Yeah, he apparently has something big cooking with EC3 in the Middle East or something like that.
EC3 in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I like Adam Scher. He's a
Okay,
nice
so
guy.
via Fightful, Austin Gunn has filed a trademark for Ass Boys. And then he tweeted out, "It's true. We did file to trademark this, so we can take legal action in the future if anyone decides to refer to us as #AssBoys. You thought we were kidding when we said we would sue you. This is proof that we'll destroy your life legally if you continue to call us this."
I don't think they thought that trademark through.
Boys.
Oh man, they're going with it. They're going with it. Whatever.
Why would you mention that?
Yeah, just for you. Per WWE social, Sami Zayn attempted to crash the Jackass movie red
Speaking of ass
carpet
boys,
and was booted after a confrontation with Johnny Knoxville. So, as we can see, that feud isn't over.
Yeah, it'd be a nice little fun celebrity mania match there with Sammy. Yeah, it'd be good. Got to put Johnny over. Johnny's got Jackass coming out this weekend, I believe.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm a Knoxville fan. I'd be for that.
I don't think anybody's not a Knoxville fan except for people that are like, that's so stupid.
all they do is hurt each other.
We're like, no shit. That's why we like it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, and last but not least, we will talk about this later, but as far as the Rumble surprises, but here's spoiler alert. Multiple sources have reported that Shane McMahon has already parted ways with the WWE again. He was originally rumored to be a strong presence on Raw for the upcoming future. However, that will not be the case.
Good.
Yeah, there was a lot of stories out there about this weekend that, he kind of put himself in the, in the Final Four and kind of put himself, some talent that got mad. Now, this is just all kind of reports that I read. I read.
It's all hearsay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all hearsay that they, but I read this, but you always read this, that they changed the ending 30 times the day of, and this is what they went with last second, because right before we were sitting down, on the pre-show, we were talking about, they just said Bobby and Brock are going to lead off. We're like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. And then, they switch
10 minutes
it up.
to go, yeah.
Yeah, they tell us that that's what's coming on. First match out was Roman and Seth, which was epic, and it's all right. About that.
Match of the night.
Yeah, but yeah, so
best day of my life.
Yeah, pretty
It
wild.
was awesome.
All right, well, let's anything else there in headlines?
That's
Primo?
all your headlines for today, boys and girls.
All right,
Also,
shout out. Go
the
ahead.
sit down marks won the best short longs in the world.
All right, so shout out here
Long
today.
songs.
We're going to shout out Dylan, who we talked about, was a late run-in for the show. We actually ended up having an extra ticket.
Got a
So
hot
we had
tag.
a blast going with us. So
tag.
Dylan, thank you, brother, for jumping in and going to the Royal Rumble with us. We had a blast, man, and look forward to running in here soon. We're going to see you March the 4th, so we'll see you at Anarchy there. So
For sure. It was good. It was good meeting you, Dylan. He pointed me out of a crowd of people, so that was pretty cool. and we'd never met before, so he assumed I was the only one wearing the sit down Marks hoodie that was in that lobby, and I was.
But what if you weren't? That would have been cool.
I told him, I said, if anybody else was wearing this particular hoodie, I would have been very thrilled.
Right. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about, boys. All right, so obviously highlights. We're going to talk about highlights of our weekend at the Royal Rumble in St. Louis, our reaction to the winners. We got to talk about who, if AJ retained or if somebody new won the Kurt Angle trophy. We got to talk about this epic cutter that Sammy did on Cody last week.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that was forever ago.
Yeah, it really does because of our weekend. And then we're going to jump right into it's a brand new month, so that means a brand new category and discussion here in our Dropkick discussion. This month we're doing Sunday Night Heat These used to come on USA, TNN back in the old days. This was a Sunday night program that used to preemptive to a pay-per-view coming up. So a lot of things happened on that show. We reviewed one here from March of 1999. It was Kurt Angle's debut, actually, and then if there is ever a slobber knocker, this is the match to watch. Public Enemy and APA win on this show. So we're going to talk about that as well. And also, we're bringing to you, finally, our interview with one of the hottest, most popular, nicest guys, man, I tell you, Midwest referee, Dan Perch. We had a great interview with him. We're going to bring that to you here later. So let's get this thing started, man. AJ, tell the masses first where they can get that Marks merch.
Well, if you're in the market for a sit-down Marks sweatshirt or t-shirt or baby clothes or stickers or mugs or notebooks or anything really that you want, burn a few things, you can go to tpublic.com/stores/sit-down Marks. Buy our stuff.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit down, Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, time for the recap here, and I like to start it off with my indie roundup for the weekend of February the 4th. Got a few shows here going on for you. The big one I'm going to be checking out, man, Friday night, AAW out of Chicago. This show is called Legacy. It's this Friday night at 115 Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, Illinois. We got Matt Fitchett versus the Laredo Kid. We got Jake Something versus Russ Jones. Talk about a hoss fight, man. That is hossness right there. And then our buddy as well, Hartenbauer. He's been on the show a couple times. He's going to be there making a stop on the Big Arms, Big Paychecks tour. So make sure you check that one out. If you can't get to the show in Chicago, it's going to be live on Fight TV for $14.99. You can watch a great show, and there's a lot of more awesome matches later for that night as well. Next up, Glory Pro Wrestling presents Let's Jam, Sunday, February the 6th at the South Broadway Athletic Club in St. Louis. 2:00 is the start time there. Warhorse, Danhausen, Mike Outlaw, all advertised to be there. And a couple notes here, guys, too. I want to let you know Daniel Garcia won the Battle of Los Angeles in PWG last week.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. The NWA has announced that they are taking tag team submissions for the NWA Crockett Cup, announced for March 19th and 20th. It's going to be a tag team tournament. Loving that idea. And also a couple other notes here. SCW presents Heartbreak Saturday, February the 5th in Walcott, Iowa. The one called Manders is going to be there, of course. And then this weekend, WrestleMax presents WrestleMax Episode 7, Saturday, February the 5th, ACH versus Mike Outlaw. And then the big show that is going on this Saturday night, Zala Live presents Born to Run this Saturday night, February the 5th, at the Sterling Moose Lodge there in beautiful Sterling, Illinois. We got Cole Radrick on the card. We got Gary J. It's a big card here. Hartenbauer is teaming up with Judd the Janitor. That's going to be awesome to see. And come check that one out, man. We got a 5:00 start there. AJ is scheduled to be there too, unless any late run-ins of weather comes in. So come meet AJ. He's going to have some merch there to give away to you. AJ, we love going to Sterling, man, and so it's going to be a big card there Saturday night, man.
I am super excited to be there by myself. Like that'll be weird. Sit there all lonesome at the table.
Somebody come keep AJ warm. He is single, ladies.
No,
I'll let you know that. He's single.
The Sterling crowd is fantastic. Last time we were there, like they all just came up and talked to us, and we immediately felt like, hey, we've been coming here for years. Like, they're fantastic. So I look forward to hanging out with all the fans and some of the awesome performers. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be great, man. Looking forward to that show there Saturday night. So check that one out as well, and it'll drop shortly after on YouTube and IWTV as well. All right, Primo, let's get to the meat here, man. We're going to start off with the WWE recap of the week. Before we can get to the Royal Rumble, we got to go over what happened on the Go Home SmackDown.
Smackity down.
So let's get to it, man, so we can talk about this Rumble.
We can get to it. It'll be really quick. So nothing really happened. I literally wrote this. This is my notes. I'm reading it word for word. Nothing really happened, and no new matches were added to the Rumble. Right. However, it was a go-home, so they did have one cool segment, and that was the last 10 minutes of the show, where Seth Rollins and Universal Champion Roman Reigns brought the final SmackDown before the Royal Rumble to a close with an in-ring face-to-face as they talked to each other. Rollins brought up beating Reigns before, including that he even sent him packing for that 30-day vacay.
Whoops.
Yeah. From there, he brought up the chair shot at the end of the Shield, to which the Tribal Chief's complete demeanor changed. Dismayed and pissed off, Reigns told his former tag team title winning partner that he never forgave him for what he did to us. I never forgave you for what you did to us.
Right.
And then he says, I hate you. Something like that. Anyway.
No, that was pretty good.
He was emotional, basically. He you could tell he didn't just rent it or lease it. He actually purchased some real estate in Roman Reigns' head there.
He never forgave Seth for what he did.
He has never gotten over it. He brought out some of them feelings to the surface.
Yeah,
and
great promo by Seth. This was great.
Oh yeah, I almost put that one in the intro.
It was so good.
The head of the table then tried to Superman punch, but like Seth's been doing for weeks, he ducked and dodged him, and then he just did one of these on his way out.
Yep.
So I like this a lot because I love Seth as a tweener. Like he's the best tweener. And I'm afraid that they're gonna turn him full babyface before Mania, and that'll bother me a little bit. But tweener Seth is the best Seth.
Yeah.
Seth is like full on like Joker mode right now.
Yes, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
they were in Kansas City right here before going to St. Louis too, so this crowd was pretty hot. I think a lot of these people were going to the Rumble.
Seth is so on fire right now. He's just firing on all cylinders.
I know, man. Let me say this real quick about him too. Like, he's getting in Jericho status for me, man, because he keeps reinventing himself in these you know what I mean, like new, you know what I mean, like variants of his old character.
He had he had the Architect, the Kingslayer, the Beast Slayer,
the Monday Night Messiah, now he's the Visionary. Like each one is landing. Like, it's kind of fantastic.
He's awesome, dude.
He's good.
He's awesome.
Really
so that brought us to
a
fantastic Saturday night. Your boys, the Sit Down Marks.
And Dylan.
Sit Down Marks honoree for one night. We all showed up, rolled up. Actually, 3 of us rolled up, and then one of us rolled up like 10 minutes after the show.
In perfect AJ fashion, gets to the Rumble late.
Would you expect anything else? However, I was in a better position than you guys were for
that first part. Yeah,
accidentally, like completely.
I don't know. I don't know. We didn't actually see you there, so we don't know that you were there. Actually, it can't be proven.
Speaking of that first match,
like 8 seconds later.
Yeah. Speaking of that, all I could think during that part was like, "Oh my God, where's AJ?"
Yeah,
I know. Yep.
I was down on the floor.
Yep.
Because my "Oh my God" reaction was because the opening matchup was the best match on the card. I mean, we knew it was going to be a banger already, but it ended up being amazing. It started out with a bang, got the crowd on fire. But by the way, let's talk about that real quick. Before the show even started, they 44,000 people. It was electric.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Yeah. It felt pretty good, man. Like 45, close to 45,000 people. It was crazy because it was kind of like, we got there a little early and checked out everything, stuff. We were looking around. The place didn't look that, full. And then once, that first match started, and I actually noticed when, Seth was coming in, I'm like, wow, this place is full.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
It took me a
seats.
second to find him.
You know what was great about all that too is there were 45,000 people. I felt safe. Like, I'm just gonna throw that out there just because I felt completely okay being in there.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like most everybody was doing the right thing with the masks and everything.
Yeah. It was pretty, like spaced out. Like, I loved our seats. We could get to anywhere very fast.
We did. Except for one thing that we'll get into shortly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, first match: Rollins versus Reigns. Champ comes out first. Automatically, by the way, Champ coming out first, something is up. At that moment, I was so in the moment that I didn't think about it.
I don't think so.
But however, we got the Shield theme, and we all flipped out.
That was
right.
Amazing.
That's probably
right when you hear Sierra Hotel. Like, I was down on the floor because
that's probably where most of my voice went, because that immediately I was flipping shit, dude.
It was the greatest troll ever.
It really was.
Yeah, so we talked about on SmackDown how he was getting under his skin mentioning the Shield stuff. Well, this time Seth Rollins comes out in full Shield attire, Shield entrance through the crowd, mixed in with his current Sethisms that he does.
Yeah.
With the Joker type
dancing
stuff.
like the Joker.
Yeah. So it was perfect, even up to the point to where when they announced him and Roman holds the championship in his face, and Rollins just like,
he's like,
he's not impressed.
Yeah.
Nope.
However, so overall, great match.
Yeah.
It honestly, Seth was.
Yeah, like we couldn't, obviously where we couldn't hear what they were saying to each other in the ring. We went back and watched it later and heard them. It was it was a great match just watching the wrestling. We couldn't hear them, talking to each other. And then when we went back and watched it and seen the storyline they were making between talking to each other, I was like, man, this made the match even better.
It was great.
What I like too is, aside from the Shield entrance, the first few sequences that Seth Rollins did were stuff that he did back in his Shield days.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. The sling blade. And
the suicide dives and all that.
Yeah. I love how Roman comes out with the battle outfit. Like, that's his, with the black pants and the boots. Like, I was talking about that with Dylan. I was like, he doesn't really wear that particular outfit any other time but match day. I was like, I kind of like that about him. It kind of makes it a little more
game day outfit,
Yeah, adds to his shit. Yeah. Good stuff.
So Rollins is... he's ahead in the match. Rollins is ahead in the match, and there's a lot of near falls. Eventually, I think it was after Rollins goes to give the fist.
Yeah, the fist. And he was like, "I love you."
He's like, "I love you. I'll always love you." And then
laughing.
Basically, what happens is Roman guillotines him, chokes him out until Seth is able to. Well, let's be real. Charles Robinson put his hand on the rope.
Yeah, he put his hand on the rope.
Yeah.
But
tiny.
Roman didn't let go at the count of 5. Disqualification. So even though I watched it back on TV too, because we were talking about it live when we were there was never an announcement as to who won.
Nope.
Right.
Never.
No.
But technically Rollins did win via DQ because Roman didn't answer the count of 5 to let go of the chokehold. Afterwards, he obliterated him with the chair, just like Seth did to him when he broke up the Shield.
Yep. Great shit. Great storyline. Awesome match.
That's something I wanted to say too. Was for the first time in a while with the WWE, I'm invested in a story.
Yep.
Yeah.
And is it more Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns? Because for me, it's more Seth. Because Seth Rollins has always been one of my favorites ever since he came out with the original Shield.
Right.
They're digging into their history now too. So
this is
I always love that. I love that when they can go like when Triple H and Shawn had their rivalry, they were able to get footage from years ago. Like so you know what I'm saying? I love that stuff.
Well, plus I love that like it was almost inadvertent that they have like the Roman Reigns can't beat Seth Rollins in high stakes matches, which. They like I guarantee you 5 years ago they weren't trying to book that. It was like a happy accident.
That's
like,
not, That's
And
how
then
Undertaker's streak happened.
Yeah, I know, right? They were planning it, but it just kind of like got thrown in there.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love everything about this. Was like in the Royal Rumble premium live event. This was my favorite match. By far.
Sure.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, it was my favorite match tonight for sure.
Yeah.
The next match, Women's Rumble, was my second. It was really close.
Yeah, the next match, speaking of Women's Rumble, we had the 30 women over the top rope Royal Rumble match. The winner of the match was the returning, as we spoke about last week, as Dirty Bird has mentioned since like November. Ronda Rousey returned.
Yep.
And she did return at number 30. She returned at like number
26.
Something like 26.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, I like that too. I popped hard because it just,
So did
it just
I.
makes it was exciting. You know what I mean? It makes it, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not a big Ronda fan, but yeah, it makes it exciting. You know, the Rumble was really good up until that point, and then they added her in the mix like up to that point. I mean, you know, we seen Melina, Mickey James, Lita. You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell you, dude.
Michelle McCool.
How much did everybody pop for Hardcore Country?
Yes, that was
Hardcore
great. By the way,
Country.
Michael, I want to say something. Michael said she'd get jobbed out, so I won the bet. She did not get jobbed out.
Did not.
A leader threw her out when she came out at number 26. So, and Mickey came out at number 20. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to call that a win for me.
She was in there for a
Call
few
that a win
minutes.
for me. Yeah,
She locked out with Michelle McCool.
Yep.
Yep. And also, too, as you guys know because you were there, I was immediately pissed about Ronda Rousey
Yes, you were.
winning.
Right.
You
However,
really were.
after, I didn't know this, but she only had a baby like 2 months ago.
Yeah. It was
Ronda?
very recent.
So to
they
be
kept
able to
hush
have
on that,
a
didn't they?
baby and recover and come back to the Royal Rumble that quick, I gotta
kinda
give her.
forgot she
I
was
gotta
pregnant.
give her props for that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the place went unglued when she came out. I mean,
Yeah.
I did. You know what I
It
mean?
did, yeah,
Like,
it
was,
did.
You know, sounds like she's going to be a real heel. So,
That was the second biggest pop of the entire night that we would hear. Was the first one will come in the. I mean, it was Randy Orton, obviously, because I mean we were in St. Louis.
Yeah,
We'll get
Randy
to that.
Orton,
We'll
yeah.
get to that later.
Yeah.
He ate it up too, as he
right.
should.
And they didn't even catch it on the feed very much. He was
Yeah.
already out there. They didn't
He was
catch
doing.
it.
He was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah. What we saw, they didn't show as much on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but this women's rumble was very good.
I actually enjoyed the women's
Very
rumble quite a
yes. Yes.
I did. I actually enjoyed it more than the
bit. Yeah,
men's
I
rumble.
can agree with that. There
Like
were definitely more
Sig-
surprises.
Yeah.
Well,
Melina's
and then-
entrance, Molly Holly. Who was some
Melina.
other?
Melina, Michelle. It was like half nostalgia.
Michelle
Sasha
McCool.
Yeah, Michelle
Technically,
McCool.
as number one,
Summer Rae.
Yeah.
the legend, WWE legend, Summer Rae.
Legend Summer
Right.
Rae.
Yeah. So then Ronda points at the sign, and then what, Primo?
Sarah Logan.
And then,
There you go. Sarah Logan, yeah.
and then Ronda points at the sign, and fireworks go off, and as they should when you point at the WrestleMania sign. And as the next match is starting, which is Becky Lynch versus Doudrop, come to find out, the WrestleMania sign catches fire.
Right.
Fire.
You guys were, me and Dylan were
That was
watching.
our intermission.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, we were-
taking
that
your
was our intermission,
spot as planned, and we were kind of watching the match, and then we noticed a whole bunch of people getting moved out from under the WrestleMania sign, and you could see a small little
Looked
fireball.
like 100 people they moved.
Yeah, and apparently after the fireworks, it started dropping, burning a few people, so they moved everybody out. You know, we were like kind of where our seats were in the club level. We were almost kind of level with where the
sign was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
So we
a
could see it
little
very good.
beneath it,
a
but
little beneath it. Yeah.
and we
but,
were like perfectly perpendicular with it. We couldn't see the front of it. We just knew what it was.
Yeah.
we could see
also-
the side of it.
What I want to say about this, so me and AJ had already talked about this being our piss break match.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And which we did. We went and we held hands just like we said we would.
Sure.
Got a beer, came
Yep.
back. They ran out of water. We couldn't get dirty water.
They ran out of everything. That was the only thing
They
that
did.
sucked about the damn place.
Yeah.
I want to
So, but
Yeah.
anyway, I went back and watched this live, on Peacock. whatever.
Sure.
And I just wanted to see when, because they're not going to show it, but I wanted to see when everybody was like,
I know, I did too.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yep.
Everyone
it sure did
was like,
happen.
Yeah, there's two big spots in that match to make, and then the one where she kind of botched, Dewdrop botched that.
Oh, I saw that too.
Cannonball on the outside. Everybody kind of went collectively, ooh.
I remember you telling us about it.
Too.
And then I saw it.
Yeah.
Well, but after the match, Becky Lynch had nothing but praise for.
Yeah, this match is good. Becky totally like oversold the thing with her facial expressions. You know, doing the ooh, okay. I'm gonna get her this time. Like, you know, like, come on, Becky.
When I was watching it on TV, you could tell Becky was kind of like when she kept looking at the sign. She's kind of like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah. Like, you know, yeah.
Do we need to evacuate? Like, what's
so, she was like, is this serious? So anyway, Becky Lynch, the champion, as we mentioned, retains her championship against Dewdrop, and then that was basically the women's championship in women's matches wrapped up from there. Next up, we have the intergender tag match between the Radar Superstar Edge and Glamazon Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice, the It Couple.
Wait, wasn't that right before the?
It was Brock and Lashley.
Brock and Lashley,
yeah. and then the mixed tag.
Oh, you're right. So okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's not an important match. It's fine.
No,
it has no bearing on the rest of the show.
Well, let's go back to Brock and Lashley.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. It was good. It was hard hitting.
It was good.
They definitely showed. I like how they came out and Brock Lesnar did the first German to Bobby Lashley, and Lashley popped up. Yep. And then he Germaned Brock Lesnar, and Brock's like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens here is, well, hold on. Let's do this real quick. Take a listen.
Title.
See, I'm the opposite.
You really?
I'm taking Lashley over Lesnar.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that.
And Lesnar jumping into the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
okay. All right, now run the clip of you saying that AJ Styles was going to win the Rumble for 8 months. Let's run that clip.
Yeah. Well, hey, he lasted for like 30 minutes. And fucking Madcap Moss was officially my least favorite superstar.
There were a lot of my officially least favorite superstars.
So anyway,
Men's Rumble.
But like the clip says, Brock Lesnar was about to win, really. But they did the whole ref got in the way twice in a row, but for some reason.
Well, the first bump was kind of weak. Like, there's no way you're going to be out for 10 minutes.
He's like, all right, I can't really sell that, guys. Hit me again.
No, hit me with a shoe or something.
Yeah. So he gets knocked. The ref gets knocked out. As he's knocked out, I think that was when Brock did the F5.
Mm-hmm.
And he pins, and the whole crowd counted to like 25.
Yep. we counted pretty high.
Yeah. So at this point, Roman Reigns comes out. Surprise. And he's standing there. Paul Heyman's doing his thing like, oh, fuck. Like, Roman Reigns is right here. He spears Brock Lesnar.
Remember, we were so high up. Remember Roman running down? It just looked like a black head of hair. He's just like, is that Roman? I don't. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Yes. It's Roman.
And he gets in. He spears Lesnar. And then he looks at Paul Heyman. And that's another thing we mentioned on the pod here a couple months ago.
Yep.
The swerve.
Might be a swerve. Yep. Might be a word.
He looks at Paul Heyman. Puts his hand out. Paul Heyman. Yes, my tribal chief. Hands him the belt. Roman clocks Lesnar and new WWE champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. Good time.
He was very face-ish in this match.
Remember when I talked about it a while back?
He said like hands and everything.
It just seemed like a work or something. It seemed like they still had this in their pocket.
Yeah,
we can still make this work. But
you think they were going to originally do this at day one?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever.
Yeah. I mean, it could have. But once that happened, then we all kind of collectively thought to ourselves,
"Shit, Primo's right."
He's going to be in the Rumble now.
Right again.
Well, we thought that, and then we thought, oh well, he's going to be in the Rumble. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we thought, oh shit, he's.
But we were like, surely he may not win, but whatever. At least he'll be in the Rumble. So next up, cool down match before the Men's Royal Rumble: Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice.
I hated Beth's hair, by the way.
You don't like the
no. Yeah, I didn't like it either. She looked like a dinosaur.
No, I loved her too.
She was doing a Luna Vachon thing.
I did like the Luna Vachon. Yeah. Then she should have gone all out and shaved half of it. Come on, Beth Phoenix, commit.
Right, commit.
Method acting.
Maurice, however, looked lovely.
Fantastic. She's a very beautiful woman. They both are. Beth Phoenix is beautiful as well.
And when I watched this back, I didn't, when I got back after they told me they didn't have any hot dogs or anything.
This was your intermission.
Yeah, after I got back, I was able to see the finish. So, and then watching it back, it wasn't bad. I caught one little funny story, one little line I wanted to say that Byron Saxon says, she used a loaded purse. And Corey says, how do you know it's loaded? And Byron says, all the designers are using bricks now. It's standard.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
I missed that line because I hated this match. I hated it.
Yeah, it was great, but it was
not good.
I will say. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say poor Edge.
I was just gonna say, I loved us being there and show it, and that was amazing. But then I also loved going back and hearing the commentators give their take on everything.
Yeah.
Even though we kind of knew when we were up there, I bet they're saying this right now.
Wait a minute. I just realized that Edge and Lita were both on the show.
They sure were.
Yeah. Huh. Matt Hardy wasn't backstage then.
Do you think they talked about it backstage? They're like, hey, remember that time we got Matt Hardy fired?
Yeah. Or remember the live sex scene on Raw we did? You think they said that?
Yeah. I remember.
There were millions of 12-year-olds that saw your nipple.
I was there. Speaking of women's surprises, Bella Twins. They went full Mean Girls. But 2013, myself and Jet Designs were at Monday Night Raw TV and saw Brie Bella's nipple.
Nice.
Yep. A little fun fact for you. Main event was men's Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
As we said, not as many surprises as the women's Rumble. We had first two, though. Those first two, AJ and Nakamura.
I flipped my shit when those were the first two.
Yeah. AJ did the Shawn Michaels pose.
Yes, and I didn't see that until the TV.
We couldn't see it from where our seats were. That was awesome.
So right now, can we talk about the fucking spotlight? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, why not?
I read somewhere that we weren't the only ones pissed about that.
No,
there was a chant.
There were chants.
Yeah.
Like repeated chants.
Turn off the lights. So so explain, AJ. Well, okay, you got the coffee, but I was saying, all right, go ahead and explain what we're talking about, everybody.
So around the ring, up in the lighting grid, they had the four big screens all around, and then right above each big screen TV was a fucking spotlight that was just
beaming
shiny,
right at us.
In
like
four directions.
Fire warm.
We were in the direct path of this goddamn spotlight. Right. So it was a little difficult to see things on the monitor, the big screen monitor, because that giant backlight was just in your face. But when you watch the ring, it was totally fine. But yeah, there was four of them. So there were four sections of fans just absolutely pissed about the entire thing.
It was funny.
It was the worst design.
They would chant, turn off the light, and then the countdown would start, and then they would just change over.
Be like, yeah!
9, 8, 7, turn off the light, turn off the lights.
I did
9, 8.
I did a couple of times too, where the lights would go off or dim for someone's entrance.
Yeah, that's
and then when it went back on, everyone would boo.
Like boo.
All right, so.
Yeah, men's Royal Rumble match. We had AJ and Nakamura, first two entrants.
Yes, two of my favorites.
AJ, the phenomenal number one.
That's right.
Yeah, see what you did there?
He was trying to do coast to coast like Shawn Michaels.
Like Shawn, love it.
And
I thought he was going to for a while.
For a minute, I did until he got eliminated by a fuckhead.
Fucking Madcap.
So I'm sure Madcap is a nice person, but
Nope, fuck him.
Right now, I don't like him. However, I'm trying to remember. Besides AJ and Bobby Roode, who else was in the ring when they got the TNA chant?
Austin. It was
AJ and Bobby
It was just them two
facing off.
Okay.
yeah,
just
because
them
then
facing
number
off,
4 was Austin Evans, right?
Who?
Austin Theory.
Or Austin Theory,
Evans
whatever.
is a tech reviewer.
Yes.
Number 3 was Austin Theory, right?
Yeah, he was Austin Theory. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then number 4
Yeah.
was Bobby.
Bobby Roode, the glorious one.
Yep. TNA chant. So that was
TNA
cool
chant.
too. That they knew that would
I
happen.
like
when
that.
they
I do
faced
like
off.
that
I do,
sometimes.
too. Yeah.
So surprises. We had Bad Bunny, which the crowd, I didn't realize he was that over, but he is.
He was. He was
Our
very
section
over.
knew who he was. We didn't, or I didn't anyway.
I mean, I didn't know by
I
the
didn't know the
entrance.
music.
I
Yeah, I
knew
didn't
who
know
he
the
was when the name came up.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't know the music.
Yeah,
The
Oh
music
my
came
God.
on.
I don't know the music either.
Yeah, I
The,
didn't know
the
music.
people behind us were so pumped when
Yeah,
Bad
shout
Bunny
out to
came
those
out.
guys.
It was cool.
They
They were like,
were
Bad Bunny
having-
fixed to win this. I was like, yeah.
They were
was
hyped for
great.
some Bad
They-
Bunny, dude.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
Bad
love
Bunny,
Bad
man.
And
Like
then-
he did great, man. Like
I've
he's
said
good.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually talked to somebody about this today. As far as the celebrity wing of things goes, he is
Yeah.
probably the best celebrity
I
that's
think-
been.
So before, I would say it was Stephen Amell, like from the guy from the Green
Oh,
Arrow.
yeah.
But no, he's trying. Like he put some effort.
I read
in.
somewhere that Drew Gulak's been training him.
Well, it shows because he
Yeah.
he looked natural. And
Yeah.
he did some pretty cool spots.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
not
he's
to be
Bad
mean-
Bunny.
Not to be mean, but he looked a little smoother than some of the women in the Rumble match that returned.
He looks smoother than some of the men in the
Yeah,
men's
for sure.
match as well.
Yeah.
So Randy got the biggest pop though. You know,
Yeah,
the whole
number,
town,
like, 26?
29, 28. Oh, it wasn't? Okay. No, it wasn't 26. 26 was Big E. I knew that.
Oh,
That was
okay.
my last
because
number.
you had him.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
go
so-
big? Didn't say
You wanna
that.
go big? Well, say so then. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was cool. So, all right,
Shane
finish it
McMahon.
up there, Primo.
We had Shane McMahon as another one, and that was really all the surprises, wasn't it?
Shane McMahon was more of a go the fuck home kind of surprise for me.
Oh no, I love Shane
Not
O'Mac.
for me.
So
I liked it.
I
no.
cheered.
I mean,
I'm a
I
Shane O'Mac.
popped when he came out, but then I remembered I fucking hate Shane McMahon.
Yeah, I'm a Shane O'Mac mark, but
No returns or nothing like that. No big
number
returns.
30 was Barack Lesnar.
Yep. Brock Lesnar came out number 30. There was like Shane, Drew McIntyre, and one other person in the ring.
Riddle.
Yeah,
Yep.
Riddle.
Yep. Allegedly, there was reports that Riddle was supposed to win, and
Which would have been cool.
I was so you know how you
All
said
kinds
you
of
saw that the whole 30 times thing.
Yeah.
I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw today that it was actually penciled in like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that Brock
the
Lesnar
Riddle.
was going to win.
Yeah.
Oh, that Brock Lesnar
This
was gonna
story.
win?
The story always
okay.
comes out. Yeah.
But
So
yeah, so Brock Lesnar wins. He goes on to WrestleMania, points at the sign catches fire for the second time.
Yes, it did.
What I didn't talk about, hello Skype. What I didn't talk about was the problem I had with Ronda Rousey winning was that she took out the last two people in the women's Royal Rumble match were Ronda Rousey and the winningest women's champion of all time. And she took her out like it was nothing.
That was pretty easily for her.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to do this stuff to try to give them legitimacy. You know, she's a legit badass. I mean, I know. I mean, it's skipping the line, but I mean, it's WrestleMania season. They're going for ratings. All that shit goes out the door. Bad as I hate to say it, I don't like to see it either. You know, I don't like to see people get jumped in line. You know, I'd much rather see somebody else in that spot.
See, and I do like Ronda Rousey.
That's what I said. I do like her.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
But, you know,
also, she looked like she didn't care to be there at all. She looked like that she was like, I'm getting paid so much money to be here.
No, really?
Yeah.
Well, I also heard
I
it was
didn't
kind
see
of short
that.
notice.
She's going to be a heel. I just think she came in looking like a badass, and she's
think
already saying stuff like, oh, that was a big pop or quite the pop or something, and you know, she's already starting to be a heel. So
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll
speaking
get
of
to it
pops.
on Raw.
Yeah. Let's get to Raw.
Let's do it.
So that was your Royal Rumble paper premiere live event. So on Monday Night Raw, Adam Pearce opens up the show saying the almighty Bobby Lashley will defend his WWE Championship in 3 weeks in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia at the Elimination Chamber. Bobby Lashley says, who's the conqueror now? Who's the beast now? Who's the champion now? Bobby Lashley. That's who. Then Brock Lesnar's music hits and he appears ready to fight. He's in his gear, and he basically looks like he's ready to go. Brock comes out, tries to get his rematch from Bobby. He then announces that he is going to actually. He tells Bobby not to, don't fear. After he gives him his kudos, he say, "Don't fret, buddy." No.
No.
He says, "Don't fret. I'm not picking you for WrestleMania. Picking Roman Reigns. However, it's going to be title versus title, and where you come in, my friend, is you have my title." So, basically, he tells Bobby, "Get that $5 suit off and let's go, brother."
Right, yeah.
It did look like a $5 suit, too.
Yeah.
It's a really bad suit.
I thought his shades, I like Bobby Lashley, but I just thought his shades look really silly because they're like flat, super flat.
Yeah, they were.
Like a mirror. Maybe that's the style, but I don't know. But MVP takes upon himself to decline the rematch and tells Brock to go to the back of the line because Bobby looks like Bobby already says at one point here, he says, "I pinned you once, I'll do it again." But then Brock says, "Bobby, you're nothing but a chicken shit." But Bobby still walks away after denying him his match. Brock Lesnar's chirping at him as he's walking away. But then Adam Pearce says, "Well, just a reminder, in 3 weeks, everybody will have the Elimination Chamber." And Brock goes, "I want in."
Yeah, right.
And then so now your first entrance into that elimination, besides Bobby, because Bobby's going to defend it there. So now we have Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. The rest of the night was basically qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber.
Yes, it was.
Besides Seth Rollins was immediate. That was kind of a funny segment between him and Kevin Owens, but
I did like that as well.
Seth Rollins was actually put into the match, and Kevin Owens had to qualify facing Austin Theory. However, Austin Theory won.
Boo!
So now you have Brock, Bobby, Rollins, and Austin Theory. Next up, Riddle qualified after losing the scooter race. He qualified by defeating Otis clean, which was weird to me that they called it an upset.
I know it's Riddle and Otis. What has Otis done?
Yeah.
I did like the scooter
tag
race,
champ,
though.
but I'm like, whatever, dude. The last person to qualify for the chamber was AJ Styles.
Who doesn't fit in this particular elimination chamber?
The young gun. What do they call him? The blue chipper?
I go
Which
away.
is what they called The Rock.
Yeah, they're just recycling things at that point. Only The Rock was actually awesome. And
Just trying to make some new stars. Austin's a stud, man.
No, I mean, I like Austin Theory.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
I like the gimmick.
That's the thing. His gimmick is kind of dumb.
I don't like him, but he's good. Like he's obviously
I like
good.
him.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. He can go, and he obviously has it. So, but he's in a ring full of like legends and future Hall of Famers. So, moving on. Last segment of Raw. Ronda Rousey returns to Monday Night Raw. She says she's been debating since Saturday whose title she wants to take, Charlotte or Rebecca's.
Rebecca. That was funny.
She basically says she is the best and she's the baddest chick. She says, bitch. I said chick. Yeah. Big Time Bex comes out looking so ridiculous. Basically, she looks super ridiculous.
She did. She looks like she was wearing a bubble.
Telling Ronda to choose right now. Ronda says she'll
she
give
was
her...
riding an ostrich, too.
So silly. And Seth looked like he was wearing her glasses earlier in the night.
Yes, he was. Totally.
But yeah, so she comes out telling Ronda to choose who she's going to fight now. Ronda says that she'll give her answer on Friday. As she's walking away and Becky is chirping at her, WWE Hall of Famer Alita comes out wearing a Becky Lynch shirt, by the way. and challenges Becky for a match at the Elimination Chamber. Becky says no until Lita calls her scared, but Becky accepts the challenge as Raw goes off the air.
Yeah.
That was Monday Night Raw.
It was actually a pretty good episode.
It was not too bad. Like I don't think anything jumped out, but it's like, okay, Ronda's going to be here, and then like she's supposed to make her decision. Oh, well, tune in Friday. We'll make it here. Okay.
But AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio, that was a fantastic match.
That was,
that was great.
Good.
That was great.
Oh, and by the way, if you didn't see it after the show, Becky Lynch got squashed in 12 seconds by Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I seen that.
Wait, did she really?
Yep.
Yeah, just how they do the.
It was a distraction.
Little fans home happy.
Yeah, it was a little thing. It was a little thing to pop the crowd. Yeah,
little fun fan
it was a hometown
service.
crowd.
There's nothing that mattered.
Nah, not even.
Next up,
all the time.
Some in NXT. NXT kind of was meh, but I put a few notes here. We started off the show with Imperium versus Diamond Mine. They kicked it off. Imperium won. Saray returned with a new look. Kaylee Ray, KLR, terrorized Mandy Rose all night until she got her title match next week. And finally, Legado del Fantasma versus Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa in the main event. And Breaker and Ciampa won the match, and that was NXT.
Yeah,
I'm really liking Braun Breaker more and more every week. He's good.
He's got Creed Brothers more and more.
Yeah, I like the Creed Brothers too.
More. Yeah. And
I'm starting to get a little more excited about NXT with the belt on Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I was kind of watching it last night. I think they need to get rid of the tie-dye around the ring. Makes it look a little
chintzy.
Yes,
that's their current color scheme.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just hard to take serious. Like a big bad heel wrestling in like a tie-dye ring or whatever those things. You know what I mean? So, but my last note was. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Gunther is getting in shape.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like leaning out. Yeah,
dude is leaning out. Yeah, I have never seen his abs until last night. I'm pretty positive.
Hey, he's always been pretty like not necessarily thick, but he's always been like solid.
Yeah. He's like one of those old school guys.
Yeah. He's like the old timey like with like the vaudevillian guy used to be.
Like
that kind of guy.
Yeah, they carry rocks to work out and stuff. you know what I mean? Yeah.
The dumbbell rocks.
Right, yeah. So, all right. So that was all I got. Anybody got anything else in NXT?
Nope. That was your WWE recap.
All right. Let's get to the business here. So, the big trophy that we have on the line here at the Sit Down Marks podcast is the Kurt Angle trophy. Primo was the inaugural winner. AJ is the current champion. We always put it up at big pay-per-views, and it's usually being put up by picking matches. Whoever has the most matches right, that kind of stuff. But this time we drew out actual balls with numbers on them, ping pong balls, and everybody had a number, and whoever had the winning number would end up winning the Kurt Angle trophy.
It was a luck thing.
Royal Rumble. Yeah. So it was just kind of Rumble thing, just picking out balls here. So, all right. So let's talk about who our winner was.
We like picking out balls.
Picking out balls. So we all know that Brock came out at number 30. And
yeah, he did.
He came out at number 30. I did not have number 30, so we're going to take me out. So I will not be the winner this time.
Aw.
So the guy that did have number 30 and new two-time Kurt Angle champion Primo drew the number 30. So he had Brock Lesnar. So he is the official new champion. He already has the trophy. AJ had it with him there in St. Louis. So we're going to. There it is. Very nice. Very nice.
He looks so out of place.
Move the Kurt Angle trophy back up to on screen here for Primo. So he will have it here. So Kurt Angle is back home. You got anything to say here, Primo, about your big win to get the trophy back?
Well, I'd like to say...
Don't take too long. We ain't got all day, all right?
We have,
Oh, sorry, we're out of time right now.
We're only at a minute 13.
Oh, look at that. We gotta go. We gotta go.
I'll just plug it in later.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't have to listen to it then. We don't have to listen to it then, though.
I'd like to start off
We can
with
fast forward.
Let's start off with this.
I got to go get more coffee. I'll be right back.
As you were. Go ahead.
Acknowledge me.
Thank you. Two-time champ, I am back. AJ gracefully returned the championship back to its rightful home.
Sure.
You were good. You were a good champ, AJ. Kurt's told me all your everything you did over there. He's not even here.
He's not even here. No.
Oh,
he's not a good loser.
I'd like to thank all of my fans out there, all the Primo maniacs, and
Is he still talking?
Nope.
Two-time champ.
Primo is now the two-time champ. It will probably be WrestleMania when it goes back up here. The next time we're going to get some AEW pay-per-views involved coming up. But for now, Primo will hold it at least until WrestleMania. So that's when it will go back up.
Acknowledge me.
Congratulations, Primo.
We have acknowledged Primo officially.
Oh, what about the other people?
As
You
the
there,
two-time champ.
sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
There you go. All right, let's get
nice.
to.
I like that.
All right, let me get to the Impact results for the week here, so we can get to AEW and our dropkick discussion. So looks like now on Impact we got Matt Raywalt as on commentary with Tom Hannafan. Jake, what's my name?
Something.
Finally gets a win over Chris Bay. He gets attacked by the Bullet Club. And a new part of the Bullet Club has shown up. The Gorillas of Destiny have arrived. And motherfucking Jay White as well. So he is back too. And they come in and take out Speedball Bailey. And they pretty much say that they are here now. And this right here gives Impact more legitimacy just by the Gorillas of Destiny and Jay White showing up. So excited to see where this is going to go. Couple things, notes here about the show. Kerry Silkin, who was the owner of Ring of Honor, shows up to tell Honor No More, the faction, that they are a disgrace to the old company. And, he can't believe they're acting like this. Just kind of adding to the storyline of what's going on. So, all right, next up, Mickey James.
Hardcore country.
Comes out to give props to all of the Knockouts division. Chelsea Green says that, she wants a shot at Mickey after she wins the Rumble. This is obviously came on Thursday night before Saturday. So a couple of notes here to take it home. Dan Lambert is shown sitting ringside watching the Jonah versus Johnny Swinger match. So it might have a little Dan Lambert in Impact.
Yeah.
You're liking that one. So
I am. More Dan Lambert. Spread him across all the brands. I love it.
That's right. Main event, Chris Sabin versus PCO. PCO gets the win with the help of Honor No More. Post-match brawl, of course. The Impact wrestlers hold the ring for the first time as Honor No More retreats. That's how we go home in Impact Wrestling. AJ, what happened in AEW this week, brother?
By the way, really quick, Chris Sabin's birthday is the 4th. I almost included it today, but it's too far out. So I was like, fuck you, Chris Sabin.
So in 2 days, happy birthday, Chris.
Happy. So, this week on AEW, both Dynamite and Rampage. Rampage had one good match and then but there's some main things that I want to talk about. Mainly the ladder match between Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara to unify the interim TNT championship, and Cody Rhodes is the actual champion. This match was fantastic.
Yes.
It was like, wow, there were some super iffy spots that if the slightest thing had gone wrong, there would be some injuries, but they pulled everything off. Like, they used some cool ladder spots. Like, at one point, Sammy Guevara got a cutter on Cody Rhodes off, like, the top part of the ladder. After, like, leapfrogging, it was amazing.
That might be in, like, top 5 cutters of all time. Like, I put that up there with RKO and Rollins. That was good, man.
Yep.
Cody sold it perfectly, too.
Yep. And that was another one. That could have gone so wrong so fast.
Yeah.
But Cody sold it perfectly. Sammy hit it perfectly. It was great. So yeah, like as far as like ladder matches go, which are kind of old hat at this point, this one was great. It felt fresh. They came up with some cool spots. It was brutal, and Sammy Guevara picked up the TNT title, which was the best outcome that could have happened for this match. I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I like where they went with it. Yeah, this was nice.
Another thing too is they also I feel like there were a couple more ladder spots. One of the ladder spots was on the outside of the ring when Sammy did the senton onto Cody onto the ladder, and he whiplashed so bad.
Yes.
Oh, it looked bad.
Yeah.
Like I bet he felt it the next day for sure.
It was a very cool match.
Cody made me realize too, like how undeniably good he is fundamentally.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally,
he's awesome.
Like he's just the basics. Like he is just so good at them.
He's sound at everything.
Agreed.
Speaking of Cody, I watched Royal Rumble 2013 today, and I forgot at one time he sported a mustache.
Oh yeah, it was like it wasn't
was
like
that
a
dashing
mustache.
Was that dashing Cody?
It was
yeah, because that's when Cody had the mustache. Was when he was dashing Cody.
Dashing Cody Rose.
Up next, I want to talk about
the brown bag.
The brown bag. Yes. Wardlow. I want to talk about Wardlow for a second. He squashes two guys. We'll get to more of him in a second, but
I believe they were in Cleveland too, his hometown.
Yep,
so
his hometown.
Big pop.
Yeah, huge pop.
Yeah, Britt Baker had the line of the night here. She said, "Finally, a Baker you can count on," referring to herself and not Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, because get it. Baker Mayfield was also Pittsburgh beat Cleveland.
She was all decked out in black and gold.
Yeah, Britt Baker. I love her. So Wardlow, I look forward to Wardlow's turn more than any other person, like his face turn. And speaking of that, I look forward to Chris Jericho's heel turn more than any other heel turn right now.
Yeah.
He was in a match with Santana Ortiz and 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. I love 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Chris Jericho was annoying in this match. He really was. Like I'm starting to see Michael's point a little bit. Like he's still one of my favorites of all time, but I feel like he does need to kind of go away a little bit. They get the win, by the way, Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz.
Yeah.
But then they kind of sow the crumbling of the inner circle because they're all like yelling at each other and stuff. But apart from that, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Up next, we had
real quick. Y'all notice? Speaking of people getting shredded, you notice Chris Jericho's been laying out.
I know. What the hell?
I have not noticed that.
Yeah, he's lost like 30 pounds or something. It looks like, which I like. Dad bod Chris Jericho. It makes me laugh.
Makes me feel normal.
But yeah, I have noticed that. Up next, another Primo. You're Primo. Another promo battle between CM Punk and MJF. It's good as it's always been. MJF references how he was supposed to be back in how CM Punk was supposed to appear in Cleveland in 2014. Of course, never does. It was good. But then, MJF's goons hit the ring, and we get another little face turn tease when MJF tells Wardlow to powerbomb CM Punk, and Wardlow hesitates and like looks at MJF and is like,
"What do I pay you for?"
And then he does it, and so but that little hesitation, I was like, "That's fantastic! Can't wait." He's going to be so over when.
Yep, Punk MJF is going to be awesome tonight in Chicago too.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yep.
And then Britt Baker already did her thing. Oh, the main event was a lights out match between Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole. And I like that Orange Cassidy broke his own sunglasses.
Yeah,
like,
to start the match.
Yeah. It's like now he means business.
That's when he's serious, man.
Yes.
I'm going to show you I mean business by breaking my own shit.
Danhausen, of course, got a huge pop when he poked his head in there. It was fucking
It
awesome.
was, it was, yeah. I mean, I popped for it, but it was such an odd spot.
It really was. It made no sense, but I loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this whole match. I enjoyed the first match and the last match.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
Me too. So, Orange Cassidy actually gets the win over Adam Cole, which
Baby.
This was a weird kind of finish, but I like the match. Like, I love Adam Cole. Orange Cassidy, I like that he did something fresh for once. So, not bad. So, that is AEW Dynamite. Moving on to Rampage. We have, kicking off the show, Jon Moxley versus Anthony Bowens with some other douche.
Max Caster.
Wait, no, I don't know that person.
Max Caster. He's getting over, by the way, in case you haven't wondered.
He
haven't noticed.
And actually, this little dealy that he did was okay. He mentions Moxley's wife, and blah, blah, blah. I still don't like him. I just don't think he's talented.
His job.
I know it's pissing me off that. No. Moxley gets the win. He looks great, by the way. No ring rust whatsoever. And Anthony Bowens looked really, really good too. Which each week that goes by, I become more and more of a fan of him, and I can't wait until he boots Max Caster in the face. Up next, Brock Anderson versus Lee Johnson, and Lee Johnson versus FTR. Fun little match. FTR get the win. Oh, and Jade Cargill versus Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. And she is now looking a little better. Of course, what did I call her last time? Chode Gargyle or something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
She's looking better. She's going to be huge one day. And then finally, we have Jurassic Express, the AEW World Tag Team Champions against Private Party, which is fine. It was a fine match. Jurassic Express get the win, and Hardy and the Matt Hardy and the Blade get involved, and I'm just like, enough of this. So it was kind of an underwhelming, minus the Moxley match. It was kind of an underwhelming Rampage, which is rare. Like, they don't have a lot of misses, but it was okay. Nothing special. And that is AEW for the week. Yeah.
All right. Well.
Wait, no. One more thing that wasn't on, but I think we need to talk about our boy Ishmael Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Ishmael Vaughn, former guest on the show. He it was on AEW Dark, I believe, with him and Kid Bandit.
Kid Bandit.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. Good for him. Ish, that's awesome. Can't wait to see more of you.
Yep,
that's
nice.
the end of AEW. No more.
All right, so that will do it for our weekly recap. Now it's time to get to the Dropkick discussion of the week.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Thank you, Mr. Hartenbauer. Thanks for stopping on the Big Arms, Big Paychecks tour to shout us out there. Appreciate it. All right, so it's February, boys. It's Sunday Night Heat is what we're going to be covering this month. We had a ball covering Royal Rumble last month in January. Now it's time to cover a couple Sunday Night Heat. So let me give you a little background first, okay? So Sunday Night Heat, this was a show that aired on the USA Network, MTV, Spike TV, TNN. Basically, it was a supplementary show for the Raw brand at the time. There was roughly 513 episodes total for this whole thing, but often it was a prelude to a pay-per-view because it always came on Sunday nights. And so it was always it was kind of a very, very edgy show too, like on Sundays too, so a lot of things happen on it. So before we get to it, let's talk about the one we're talking about tonight. It's Sunday Night Heat, March the 7th, 1999. This particular one was on the USA Network. Now, we were on our way to Mania 15 in Philadelphia. We were 3 weeks away, actually, is where this one happened. Mania 15 is where Stone Cold defeated Corporate Rock for the WWF title. This is also where the Brawl for All happened. You know, the Bart Gunn deal happened.
Butterbean knocked him the hell out.
Yes.
Destroyed him.
Okay, so at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, just a month before this Sunday Night Heat, Stone Cold escaped the cage to beat Mr. McMahon in a number one contenders match to be able to face The Rock. So the show opens. Every person, I think, in the arena has a sign. It looks like back during this time. So before we get to the opener when The Rock comes out, what did you guys see up until this point?
So, first of all, I like the opening recap with the striped Sacco. That made me laugh because Mankind was trying to be, a guest referee along with Big Show. We'll get to that. It's the most 90s opening ever, complete with Tango and Cash music, which actually took place in the 80s. The music was straight out of Tango and Cash. When I was listening to it, I'm like, this is Tango and Cash music.
Yes. Yep.
And then I put so many signs in the audience, I would be so pissed. Like, imagine if you pay for a ticket to go there, and all you see is the back of some fucking goober's sign the whole entire time.
I know.
It was a sea of signs. Like, that's
everybody
all you
had a
see
sign.
people.
Everybody had a sign.
Weird.
It was amazing.
Signs and then wind up cameras.
Yep.
So that's that's what I had before the starts.
For me, I just put the whole beginning all the way to from the crowd up until The Rock's entrance. Just screams 1999.
Oh, absolutely.
It really did.
South Park, the signs, everything about it was 1999, and it was my childhood, and I loved it.
All right, so The Rock comes out to open the show. He cuts a promo on Steve Austin. We got Terry Taylor and Kevin Kelly on commentary for this show, which they tried a bunch of different guys. But so this was a very heel promo by The Rock. He's calling Austin monkey trash, all his usual puns.
Piece of monkey trash.
He says he don't care who the ref is for their match. It can be Paul White or Mankind. He's still whooping Stone Cold's ass at Mania. And here he had the WWE Championship that was kind of the rounder, more circle.
The golden, the wing dingle.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. Yeah,
it wasn't the wing dingle.
No, it was the solid.
It was it's like
the more plated looking one, rounded one.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then we see that all kind of happen. This was a very classic Rock promo here, and then we see Paul White come into the arena, and he's stopped by Finkel nonetheless. Who tells him, "Hey, Show, The Rock just buried you like a pile of dirt." And and then they're not calling him Big Show yet. He's Paul White still.
Yeah, Paul White.
So so he says that he's got to go talk to The Rock. So before we get to this first match here, what do you guys got for this Rock promo? Classic, huh?
So I love The Rock so much. First of all, he has his General Cornwallis Winchester mutton chop, fucking sideburns, always the best. My favorite line of this is when he's going to send Stone Cold to heaven, and when The Rock gets there, he's going to shake his hand, but then pull it out and pull it away and slap him in the face. So really, like, the whole thing is like he's going to slap Stone Cold in heaven. Like, that made me laugh. Right. And then I put fuck off Red Rooster.
Right, Terry Taylor, just because.
Oh, yeah, why not? And then Big Show is dressed like a 12-year-old going to his first baseball game ever. In
it's like a backwards ball cap and a FUBU jersey.
Yeah, that's made of like velvet.
Yep, we were still in the 90s.
And like Jinko jeans. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of hair.
Everything I wore.
It was fantastic.
For me, I had the commentators talking every time the Rock paused during that promo. Was so annoying. Like, he would be giving the promo, and you know how The Rock stops to listen to the crowd, to interact?
Yeah.
They would talk.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly and Terry Taylor. And I was like, shut up. You're not supposed to speak right now.
That's what prompted the fuck off Red Rooster.
And then, obviously, no, this ain't sing along with The Rock.
Yeah, that was classic too.
I love it.
I love it. All right, so we get to the first match here, and one of the reasons why I picked this was because I wanted you guys to see this match. All right,
yes.
so we got Public Enemy versus the Acolytes, which Public Enemy was Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock from Nitro.
It was a
Here's Johnny Grunge and Flyboy, but I'm gonna call him Rocco Rock because to me he's Rocco Rock. His mama named him Rocco Rock. I'm gonna call him Rocco Rock. Okay.
Plus, Flyboy is 10 times dumber than Rocco Rock.
All right, so the Acolytes were in the Ministry of Darkness right now during this time. All right, so allegedly, these four had a lot of heat about the finish of this match before they even came out. And basically, Bradshaw was noted as saying, we're going over, no matter what. They were supposed to do a table spot that Public Enemy ended up saying they weren't going to do. So it ended up being a very stiff match because there was a lot of genuine heat going into this. And you could tell it. Like, this was the slobber knocker here. All right, so right off the bat, Bradshaw starts slapping Johnny Grunge with a chair. This match was fast and furious right off the bat. It got going very quick. Farouk started hitting Rocco Rock with a Dominator that basically almost broke his neck almost. And I just kept saying, oh my God, that was stiff. Oh my God, that was stiff. Oh my God, that was stiff. So basically, yeah, oh my God, that was stiff. They beat their ass from the opening bell. Johnny Grunge ends up going through a table, and Bradshaw threw half of the table at him on the way out, which Farouk did the same. This fucking match was nuts. Public Enemy, they were way more over in WCW than they were, and they didn't last. I think they said they were there like 8 or 9 months. Not very long at all.
Like a month after this, they went back.
Yeah, they were very out of shape here too, because the Public Enemy that I remember was a lot slimmer than this, so they were a little on the heavier side. But this was pure destruction. It was almost like somebody, told like a member from Public Enemy had sex with Bradshaw's daughter, and he found out right before they went out there. Yeah, it was very stiff. It was hard. Bradshaw showed no mercy.
Oh my God.
This was nuts, man. Give me y'all's notes on this.
So go ahead, AJ.
So right when this match started, I wrote "fuck off Public Enemy," and then I put, wait a minute, is this one of the matches that, because I haven't seen it, but I knew that what I read, this is a while ago that I read this, that Public Enemy, when they came into WWE, were super cocky and like super arrogant, and like you said, they refused to do spots because they thought they were bigger than that.
Yeah. So
the Acolytes, calling this match stiff is very polite. They beat the piss out of Public Enemy. It was just, you can tell they actually hated them, and it was a beating. It wasn't a wrestling match. It wasn't even a fight, because fight implies that two people are participating.
Yeah.
It was an absolute beating that Public Enemy took, and the whole time this makes me, I loved watching Public Enemy get the fuck beat out of them, because I was never a Public Enemy fan. I thought their little hand waving was always so dumb, because they never they couldn't synchronize it. It was always so random. It'd be like, I hated it. I thought they sucked. So watching the Acolytes just destroy them was very, very fucking entertaining to me.
Primo?
God, every move was cunty, every single one.
Yeah. So my one note was that the APA beat the ever living crap out of Public Enemy, and then I took it upon myself to go and actually read the article on this that JBL recently put out on his Briscoe and JBL show, or whatever it's called, about how what happened as far as his recollection or his side of the story, however much of it's true, whatever, take for it what you will. But he says, like you guys said, Public Enemy, they were supposed to do, the finish was supposed to be a table spot, Public Enemy going through the table. They refused to do it. And apparently APA was like, okay, then what you got? And they didn't say anything. They just went out the curtain. And then they were like, what? And apparently he looks at Farouk, and Farouk's like, well, they don't want to go to the table. We're fucking making them. And basically, I think the referee was, Jimmy Corderas? And they was just like, he knew he lost control, like, as soon as he saw the APA, the looks on their faces.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, pretty wild match there. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch it. It's about as real and stiff as it gets, man, out there. So the next match was JEFFJARRETT.
You want to know my first note really quick?
Deborah.
Fuck off,
Deborah Michaels versus Road Dogg from DMX from DX.
Oh, you didn't know?
JJ is the tag champion.
What I really want.
Double J Jeff Jarrett is the tag champion with Owen Hart. And right here's the first time they show Kurt Angle sitting ringside for the first time. They say, his accomplishments and, all that kind of stuff. So this is when we see his face on TV for the first time. And this is when I noticed once again that, damn, really everybody in this place does have a sign. Wrestling is alive and well in 1999 for sure.
Very much so.
So Double J attacks Road Dogg. So he can't do all of his shtick before the match, when he says all his stuff on the mic. The match hardly starts, and Owen Hart comes out. Deborah gets on the apron of the ring, and then D-Lo, disguised as the Blue Blazer, hits Double J with a lowdown, and Road Dogg gets the win. And it's a pretty fun little quick match there. And then a quick little spot to plug Sable in Playboy to kind of let you know where we are right now in wrestling. Did you guys have anything for that match?
I did. So first I wrote "fuck off, Jeff Jarrett." And then I like the little line where they have like the ad for the CD, and I think Terry Taylor was like, how many Grammys did this win? And the other guy was like 117. That made me laugh because it's such a specific number of Grammys for one to win. Then I wrote "fuck off, Road Dogg," his stupid cornrows. I did love Jeff Jarrett in this match mainly because he interrupted the Road Dogg's fucking. Oh, you didn't know? Like, right. Shut the fuck up. How did you not know that D-Lo? It was clearly D-Lo as the Blue Blazer. Yeah. But it was so awesome because Owen Hart gets up on the top rope and there's D-Lo. I love D-Lo. And then I wrote, Sable is left-handed. How about that? That was it. That's all I had.
Signing her Playboys?
Yeah, he's left-handed.
Yeah. Primo, what you got here?
I don't have much for this match. Is this before or after The Rock goes to the women's bathroom?
This is before. This is right before.
All right. Yeah, I don't have anything for this specific match other than I owned the Maria Kanellis Playboy and the Tori Wilson and Sable Duo one.
I didn't know they did.
No China? No China?
That was before I was old enough to own Playboy.
Oh, was it? Well, you didn't go back in the archives?
No.
You probably had already seen it on the internet by then.
I did. I already saw it for free.
Probably. All right, so next match is Val Venus and Billy Gunn versus Ken Shamrock and Goldust. These guys are all basically fighting within each other. So Goldust and Ken Shamrock are feuding because Goldust kissed his sister, who is ringside. And Goldust ends up pinning Val Venus after a top rope suplex and then escapes with Ken's sister, and Ken chases them. So Billy Gunn and Val Venus fight each other in the ring instead. And then we get an awesome Mean Street Posse vignette, which was great. And so you guys got anything up until this point? Next up is the Kurt Angle debut here.
Hold on, let me see if I can...
Was this what did The Rock go to the bathroom during this part?
I didn't put anything about my notes about The Rock going to the bathroom.
Okay, he went to the women's bathroom. And
I just wanted to say, because he poked his head in there, and then he just says, because he's like, oh, sorry, ladies. Sorry, I'm looking for for Paul White. And then he pokes his head back in there. He says, hey, The Rock says, wash your hands.
The Rock says, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, which I forgot to mention earlier when The Rock was doing his first promo, when he was like, walk down that ramp, and he goes, don't run. So for this match, this is exactly what I wrote. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read it. It says,
I refuse to acknowledge this.
This match. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of guys in here you don't like.
This is what I wrote down from this match, is that Teddy Long was the referee for the tag team match, player.
Holla holla. Yes, sir. All right.
I did, however, love the Mean Streets of Greenwich segment. Just because it was Shane McMahon making fun of himself. Like, you know, I thought it was funny as shit.
It was good. All right, so next up was Tiger Ali Singh. Now, right now, he's in the middle of this shtick where he comes out and disgraces Americans, lets them know that, you know, they'll do anything for money, and they'll, you know. So anyway, so Tiger Ali Singh comes out to do his shtick to basically shit on American patriotism. He pays people to do acts for money, saying Americans, you know, they just want money, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So tonight's little bet, I guess, he's offering $500 for anyone to blow their nose on the United States flag. So obviously, Olympian Kurt Angle is sitting front row. He calls out Kurt Angle. Kurt gets in the ring. He had previously won gold in Atlanta just a couple years ago. So so Tiger Ali asked him if he would do it for $500, and Kurt says no chance. So then he offers him $2,000, and Kurt says, forget about it. Then Tiger Ali offers him $5,000, and Kurt says, okay, cool, I'll do it. So, you know, so Tiger goes into his, I told you, you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so Tiger turns his back, and as he turns his back, Kurt grabs the flag of India and blows his nose on that instead. Then Tiger attacks him. Kurt gets a suplex on him. Tiger retreats as the crowd chants USA, and Kurt has a big smile on his face. And this is the very first time, folks, we see Kurt Angle in a WWF ring. How's that make you feel about that one? There.
So Kurt Angle being one of my, in my opinion, he's the best in-ring performer of all time.
Okay.
He's better than Shawn Michaels. He's better than, you know, CM Punk. He's better than everyone. I marked out. First of all, he looks like he's 22, 23 years old. And he is so goddamn fast when he's doing like his moves on Tiger Ali.
Yeah. They're very snappy
so
and quick.
Fast.
Yes.
You can almost not even see him move. It's amazing. And it reminded me of when they put the belt on him and Triple H. I think he was bitching to like Pat Patterson or someone. It was one of the higher ups where Triple H was like, why is he champ? He's you know, he's a smaller guy. You know, he can't be champ. Yeah. And I want to say it was Pat Patterson, but I'm not sure. Was like, you go shoot wrestle him and see what happens. And then after that, Triple H shut his mouth about.
Yep. Kurt has humbled some people.
Angle.
I know that for sure. Yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah. Like, he's so good. I was so psyched to see him.
Primo, what you got here?
I just have that Tiger Ali. He had shades on, he still made it extremely obvious that he was reading from his hand. Like he could have like not moved his head at all, but instead he was like, look at his hand.
He did.
And then also just that Kurt Angle already looks like a star. Mm-hmm. And I liked how they had him go back and sit down after that. To make it seem like a legit crowd interaction.
Yeah. He was back in his front row seat for the next match, was like Al Snow and Boss Man. So
I also like once he sat down, he was like,
he had a little bit of beaded forehead too, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah. All right,
Good
so
stuff.
WWF Rewind tells us that the Big Boss Man and the Undertaker are feuding. So that brings us to Al Snow and the Big Boss Man. Kurt's back in his front row seat, and Big Boss Man wins with a sidewalk slam, and the Acolytes attack him because of the feud with the Undertaker, and they chase him to the back. So you guys got anything on that before I take us home?
So it was at this point in the show that I noticed the font for like the Heat episode and then all their little like titles for their segments and stuff. And it's like capital letter, lowercase capital. So it's like the sarcastic SpongeBob where he's like, Sunday Night Heat. Or, I can't vocalize the sarcastic SpongeBob. It's like capital, lowercase.
You mean like the logo on screen right now? Look at it. Like check out the Sunday Night Heat. Look at it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for paying attention. Awesome.
I don't know.
Thanks for watching the product, AJ. I'm just kidding.
Honest
No, yeah. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I don't know that I've never noticed that. I was just kind of noticed it as the. But yeah, it's big.
That's the first time I noticed it.
Yeah.
And then I was mad because there was no Boss Man Slam. They called it the Sidewalk Slam. I'm like,
they did. Yeah. I
was like, what the hell's the Boss Man Slam? Call it like it is. Show some respect.
Interesting.
I love Boss Man.
Me too.
I also like his stick tricks. Like I've always,
even
when I was a kid, I always was fascinated with his twirling baton trick. I love him. I always thought it looked so badass, and I still do.
I like how whenever, well, first I put because in spite of JR from one of the Rumbles we just watched, I put, oh hey, it's Al Snow, that guy from Tough Enough.
Yeah, right.
And
like they described,
like they said, and
the guy from Tough Enough.
Then that's the same thing with the baton twirling, but I liked how as he's slowly backpedaling, he hits the still steps like come over here, boys.
Right.
Ding, ding, ding.
You don't
the warning
want
shots.
Yeah.
All right, so
like
to take us home here,
scare away some birds or something.
Right. All right, so to take us home here, they show Stone Cold coming in the arena. Paul White comes to the ring to say that he was hired by Vince to protect the title. And Rock calls him a Rudy Poo, candy ass. Of course, Stone Cold's music hits. Paul walks up the ramp. Austin sneaks up behind the Rock, gives him the Stone Cold Stunner, of course. Paul stands on the ramp, just kind of looking at the ring as the show goes off. Great. This was just a great Sunday Night Heat episode. We went home with a Stone Cold Stunner on the Rock. And 3 weeks from now, they're headed to Mania 15. So what do you guys think about that closer there in this episode?
So there's a reason why he couldn't see the Rock, or the Rock couldn't see Stone Cold coming. Because it's just all camo. I think it's
all camo, right?
Looks like floating legs just coming in. Big Show utters the line when referring to the Rock. Step into his world and finish him like a man. And I wrote phrasing, Big Show. Watch your phrasing. Rock comes out and is awesome, as Rock always is. And then I just wrote, this is when I noticed that Big Show's jersey was made of velvet. And I just wrote, 90s were weird. But this episode was so much fun. I feel like we're going to, like the Saturday night's main events that we did, we're going to have just as much fun with it. At least I am, I know.
Yeah, for sure.
I had so much fun watching this episode.
Being an Air Force guy, a prior Air Force, if anybody, Marks didn't know that, but I laughed at the Coast Guard Rescue of the Week.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the Coast Guard Rescue of the Week.
Yeah.
Just thinking how funny that was that the military got involved with the rewind.
Yeah, right.
And it was the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
The Rescue of the Week.
Awesome.
But then my last comment was, I like how this is a 1 hour show on Sunday that showcases mid-card talent, but also furthers the main storylines. So it's not just a mid-card show.
Yeah. Yeah, this was great. And yeah, they got a lot in an hour. Yeah.
And speaking of, that was my very last note was that last segment with The Rock and Stone Cold was in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
it was all great. Like,
right.
Yeah,
again, it was only an hour, but it seemed like 2 in a good way because they had a lot of content in there.
Yep, straight to the point. So, yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to that one. The next one we're going to cover in 2 weeks is the Sunday Night Heat from July 11th, 1999. This one, I brought this one for us to watch because this one was a famous Rock promo on Billy Gunn that basically killed a really big run that Billy Gunn had going, a big push. Yeah, so this one was pretty legendary here. So we'll be covering that one in 2 weeks. So, all right.
Is this one on there for my benefit?
Yes, it is. This one, you're going to thoroughly enjoy this one. So
yes,
that one's going to be fun. So that one's the next one that we're covering. So that is the Dropkick discussion of the week. All right. Thank you there, Turtle. Appreciate that. All right. Next up, our interview. This one was a good one here. We got to talk to a Midwest referee. His name is Dan Perch. He's all over the Midwest and beyond right now at a lot of different promotions. He is a very nice guy. This guy loves wrestling. He loves to celebrate wrestling. The history. He's a sponge. Out there on the scene. Learning all that he can. We had a very cool interview with him. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues. We had some audio issues. I think we had some Wi-Fi issues on, so obviously that too. So we had some audio stuff at the end where there was some noises and stuff. So we wanted to still bring it to you. We're going to bring Dan back later on to redo this interview over, but we had a good time with him. Primo was able to edit this interview here the best that he can, and because we still wanted to bring it to you, but we had a ball having Dan on the show, and we're going to bring him back. But this was our interview with referee Dan Perch.
Welcome everyone to another special segment. It's not special, we've done these like 1,000 times, but it is special because we've been wanting for a while to find out about the other side of professional wrestling. Everyone thinks that it's just the performers in the ring that are integral to the show. However, refereeing is quite a big part of it as well. So we've been wanting to have a ref on for a long time, and we got the guy that we were thinking about having on. He is one of the youngest refs currently working in the Midwest independent scene. You've seen him at places like AAW, Warrior Wrestling, GCW, Black Label Pro, Freelance Underground, all kinds of shows, all kinds of promotions throughout the Midwest. And you can call him Perch. Dan Perch, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
I have an interest for grabbing the perspective of the referee. Really means a lot to me to sit down here and talk to the guys and really answer anything that you guys want to know about the perspective of the third man inside the ring.
I like that term, the third man inside the ring. Before we get to that, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from? How did you get into wrestling? Like as a kid, I'm assuming like we all did. And why'd you want to turn to refereeing, which is interesting that someone would choose that.
Yeah, always loved professional wrestling growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Crusher country, and loving pro wrestling. I wanted to give my life to professional wrestling, and I needed to find where to start, and I found a training school, and all I wanted to do was learn how to be part of the ring crew. And let me at least learn how to set up a ring and tear down a ring so I can give myself to the business and learn, in hopes of learning. So I found a training school, trained by the Beer City Bruiser.
Nice.
Who's my wrestling dad.
That's great.
And
what a good one to have, too.
At just a legend in the Midwest, and especially in Milwaukee area. He's been in for 15, 20 years, and he's definitely paved the roads that I travel down.
So what exactly, like sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Oh yeah, but learning the ropes through a training school, and wanting to learn everything about professional wrestling and find out what role fits me best, and I wanted to get in. Like I've heard many stories before. People train as a referee, and I got to learn how professional wrestling works through the eyes of a referee.
So you talked about training. What all goes into training as a ref? Like what do you do at ref school?
Yeah, great question. So I train the exact same way as the wrestlers. So I'm fully trained to wrestle. And have in my time under a mask, just to learn and experience. So I train just regular old wrestling training, all the drills, and just when it comes to game situations or match situations, I'm the other guy. Someone's got to be the ref, and that's the art that I take pride in knowing and wanting to craft and further my my job as.
So it's there's a lot of physicality involved that I don't think a lot of people realize, like how, like you have to be in pretty good shape. Like I know I couldn't be a ref. Like I remember we saw you at AAW and you were moving around just as much as the performers were. How do you stay in shape like that?
Yeah, it's intense, the cardio, and it comes with growing up playing sports my entire life, and wrestling training back in the day, and football training back in the day, and pushing your body to the point of exhaustion, and cursing out the coaches, and but in hindsight, I loved every moment of it, as much as I hated it, and using that mentality into pro wrestling allows me to push my body to the extremes, whether it's training or at a show, to try and build up the endurance as much as possible. But in this case, it's professional wrestling, not a sport like
Football
football. So I love everything about pro wrestling. Football
Right.
was a different story playing.
Even though I'm currently wearing a football hat, I totally understand that. I am also not the biggest fan of football. Ignore this. So like I don't know how many trade secrets you can give away or not, but I'm fascinated with refereeing. I want to what. So you get to a show, like you say it's an AAW show, and you're there, and what happens? Do they pull you back? Do they, do the promoters are like, all right, this is what you're going to need to do. These are the finishes. What do you?
A day in the life of a match card, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, the number one thing when getting to the venue or starting the day is to to remain tranquil,
calm at all times.
Yeah, because there's 100 jobs that can be done or need to be done, and you have to take it one at a time, and and a lot of times I like to get there early and help set up the ring. That's how I started learning professional wrestling, was through setting up the ring and taking notes and watching, and that helps me get acclimated to the arena and to the venue, walking around the venue to make sure I can see every seat, every vantage point that fans will be watching through the night. I like to just kind of view it for myself, and once I get a lay of the land, then touch base with the promoter and see what the match card is for the night. Those AAW shows are always so much fun.
Mm-hmm. That's where we see you work the most.
And then the pay-per-view. So those ones are always a fun card, and once you see the card, then you can have an idea of how the night is going to shape up, and then making sure I'm prepared, well dressed, and ready to go. I make sure I'm
looking sharp,
looking sharp, and stretched.
So how much thinking on your feet do you have to do? I always wondered about that too. Like on the fly, like how often do you have to make decisions or change things up at the drop of a pin, drop of a pin. That's not the same, but you know what I mean.
Now, what was that?
How often do you have to think on your feet and there's certain situations come up that you didn't plan for and you have to make alternative plans. How often do you have to change things or be a quick thinker to kind of foresee things that weren't previously foreseen?
Yep. Now that always goes back to what Beer City Bruiser taught me, was always rely on your training. You're going to be in a lot of uncomfortable situations and locker rooms and rings with people that you don't know, and you don't know how things are going to be. You may be working with someone for the first time, so just rely on your training and your instincts. So when it comes to moments in the ring, just always sticking with it and staying as true to myself as I can, to allow the workers I'm working with to stay true to themselves.
Let me jump in here, Perch. I want to ask you, man. Me as a fan watching wrestling, I grew up on the 80s type wrestling. There's a guy that was a big referee in the NWA named Tommy Young. I know who he is, but before I even knew that who I think is your favorite wrestler or favorite referee of all time, before I even knew that, you reminded me of him. And to me in my brain, you're kind of like a throwback referee. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some Tommy Young in you. I know you've been watching some Tommy Young tapes from back in the day.
Yeah, thank you for even paying that compliment. Tommy Young is someone who I look up to in the highest regard. Professional wrestling, when I look back and watch it, it's the mid to late 80s NWA, mid-Atlantic era, good storytelling, authentic professional wrestling. And I learned a lot from studying guys like Tommy Young and learning about Ronnie West, and the ability to referee and be a part of the show. It really caught my eye when paying respects to the referee. When anyone mentions referees, there's a handful of names that come around, and I wanted to know what separates each one. Mm-hmm. Just like actors back in the day. I like old actors. Humphrey Bogart and James Stewart, all those guys, Cary Grant. What separates them?
Right.
And I found a lot of love in Tommy Young.
Yeah, and Tommy had this famous kind of way of sliding in at the right time to make, he knew when the pins were coming, but he had this beautiful slide. And I know I'm talking about where he kind of would come in 1, 2, 3, do you kind of, put that in your repertoire sometimes, getting the slide in there.
Yeah. The slide was something that right when I started refereeing, the pals of mine were like, "Oh, Perch, you got to come in with a slide."
Right.
And it was something that I worked on, and I have to be prepared to count a pin in any situation, and working a slide in there in tight quarters is sometimes called for.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what's probably mind blowing to you and to me too. I want you to talk about this real quick, and I'm gonna send you back to AJ. Tommy Young used to referee Ricky Morton matches. Mr. Perch, you are refereeing Ricky Morton matches. How freaking wild is that, man?
Yeah, the honor to hold up any champ or any title or any distinguished match is such a high honor. I like to pay respects and study, what leads up to this point and what leads up to those moments. And it's an amazing feeling to have as a student of the business, and to learn from our history. The way Tommy Young would call Ric Flair champ. It mirrors anytime I'm in the ring with someone who is a legitimate champion.
Right.
It's a real honor for me to officiate those matches and to play any part to help the story of pro wrestling get told to the fans.
All right, well, let me jump in here, Perch, too, man. Let me ask you a few little, some fun questions. What's one moment in a ring in a match where you've been scared, like holy fuck, like stop, like that one time? You probably got that one time, like for whatever reason, be like this is wild, like when you were thinking, holy cow.
MLW came to town in Milwaukee a couple of years ago, and Contra was running wild.
Oh.
It was Contra against the Von Erichs, and it was a full day TV tapings, and I had the opportunity to work with them, and I was learning so much that day. and that old school Texas style Gary Hart inspired pro wrestling is an atmosphere that's a war zone, and Contra, created that war zone.
Yeah.
And there was a big, standoff, and at one point, Fatu grabbed me and picked me up and threw me through a table.
Oh wow!
Nice spot there.
And the other two, beat me up too. Simon and Joseph Samuel threw a chair on me, and it was a wild occurrence.
Well, that kind of answers my next. I was going to ask if you got to take any.
That story brought two questions out of me. So, first of all, all of us here are wrestling fans.
Not me.
Is there? I'm sure every referee is probably different, but what is like your? If you get hit, how long are you down?
What's your selling like?
It depends what's getting hit.
Right.
So, yeah.
And with what?
With
right.
what?
When I need to put the foot down, I'll put the foot down, and I'll handle business. But if someone crosses that line, we're not getting up anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, how fun is it to, like, in your position, to do the in-ring psychology with like near falls and maybe having to work with the heel wrestlers like coming at you like, no, that was 3 ref, that type of stuff. How fun is that?
Yeah. Do you hear the cat calls? Do you hear them, be like, oh, come on, ref, that was 3, or, or are you just so engulfed in the match, that you hear it sometimes, right?
Yeah. But growing up, going back to sports, my dad would coach our sports. So we would, hear his temper or his short fuse. and whether it was, fans or umpires or, another team's coach, we could kind of sense if there was a temper flaring. So once in a while, he would get into it with them. So, being no stranger to how intense a match can get, I'll stand toe to toe and defend what I was doing and lay out exactly what I saw and what happened. It's intense moments, and I stand up to them. I enjoy it.
Right. As a referee, Perch, what's the ultimate compliment a wrestler can give you or promoter can give you? Not just hey, great job tonight, good match. What's that like? You really did a good job when somebody tells you this at a show that you worked for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good question. I try to build a rapport with everybody who I'm in the ring with, and understanding that it's not going to happen overnight.
Sure.
And you can be on top of the world one night, but come Sunday morning, you're right back to square one. So to try and build those up over time, and in time you may end up getting a moment where someone takes you aside and gives you a tip. I certainly like to touch base afterwards and try to pick the brains if there's anything that could have gone better or not, and in that time guys can let you know maybe something they were taught or a tip or a trick or something.
Sure.
Or, watch out, and that goes a long ways. Just kind of building a little bit of a trust is the highest compliment that I could ever be given.
That's cool.
Right.
That's actually really, really fascinating. Brought something up to me. Whenever you first got into this, and whenever other new refs are cut, like say a brand new ref is coming in, is it kind of like the same with maybe wrestlers or maybe any sport? are there gatekeepers to refereeing? You know what I'm saying? Or do you all of you guys kind of welcome in the new guys and help them out?
Yeah, that's an awesome thing to think about. It's something that I was brought in from my first day of training. A referee, Jerry, from the West Dallas area. He gave me a list of 50 things a referee should do. So
Awesome.
I read that
Cool.
list, and holy smokes, this guy put in some thought to give to me on my first day.
Yeah.
So I've always carried that close to heart, and
Cool.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Keeping that in mind, anyone who is who's refereeing, I see myself as a student. So anyone can be a teacher, whether it's a ref who's been in longer than me. I'll try and pick their brains as much as I can, and try and understand what I can, sit under their wing, and see how they see it through their eyes, and doing that in time. Now there's referees once in a while who have been in younger than I, and
Right.
and if they have anything to ask, I make sure that in that time before a match or before the show starts, another part of getting there early is I'm here to talk with you. We're both students here, and we're both learning. I may have been in a little bit longer, but this is my experience. How does it mix with your experience?
Sure.
So there's been a lot of giving referees and people able to lend an ear if I ever have a question. So grateful for somewhat of a fraternity.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
And very grateful for the training that I got in Milwaukee.
Definitely.
Speaking of that list, what are some of the cool things on that list of 50 that you were like, that you would have never thought of before actually receiving it and being like, oh shit, that's weird?
Well, I'm sure one of them was be on the Sit Down Marks podcast, so
Yes,
you got 49 left.
That's on every list. Like they didn't even know
Shameless plug. I think at least 3 of them were be safe, be sexy, and have fun.
Be safe.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes, referee Nick Patrick took that to heart.
Comes with the territory.
Sexy bastard.
Sure. On the lighter side, I wanted to ask you, because I've always thought about this, right? Like when a referee is refereeing, and when you are working a scramble match or like a crazy, 18 man or just whatever, is it kind of like herding cats? Is it kind of like, what I mean? Is it, is that what you can kind of like, because there's so much shit going on, right? Like there should be like, like for tag team, like anything more than the tag team should be 2 refs. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much going on during those kind of matches, man. Like head on a swivel. Like, how do you do
that? Head on a swivel is right. It's like it's like playing tetherball against someone who's good. The ball keeps coming right at your face.
Right. Yeah.
Right at your face.
Yeah. You gotta know where you are at all times, man. Especially like a ladder match, when they got all these toys out that they're jumping off of and hitting each other with, man. It's but I want to give you a compliment, Perch, because every time I'm on social media, I follow you on everything. We're all big fans of yours. We first saw you in AAW, and you're always saying celebrate pro wrestling. You're a sponge to the business, man. I love to hear it, and I just want to say, never lose that passion, man. I love to see it, man.
Oh, thank you. It's something that I've found in my travels and studies. The one thing we all share in common, fans, wrestlers, referees, cameramen, writers, everybody, podcasters, is the passion of professional wrestling.
Sure.
We all share the love and something that got us into it and keeps us into it. We all share the passion with one another. And yeah, through you find out the pound symbols where I made one of Celebrate Pro Wrestling, and I love to promote that as much as possible, because we're all here having a good time. Whatever you like to, some people, crack open a 6-pack and enjoy pro wrestling. That's how people did it up here in Milwaukee, and we're born from having a good time and enjoying some good old fashioned pro wrestling.
That's right. Well, one more thing I want to say to you, and I'm gonna give you back to AJ. I seen what happens when you drink a Bang energy drink. Be safe out there, Mr. Perch. Don't be body slamming everybody you see when you're drinking those Bang energy drinks. Now, Davey Bang, it's okay, man. You can body slam him all day, but
Baby Bang.
be safe out there.
Drink those Bang energy drinks, in the right setting, if you know what I'm
saying. We stick to coffee and water from here on out.
Right.
It's like feeding a gremlin after midnight.
Right. Yeah.
Nice. I do want to ask you about something a little more serious before I pass you over to Primo with some nonsense. Have you had any scary moments in the ring where you've had to like throw up the old X? Like what do you do in that situation? Like how do you handle it?
Going back to trying to understand each wrestler, each worker, each performer, trying to understand, how they're feeling coming into the match, whether it's an injury they have coming in or, tendencies. The better I can understand how each person's feeling coming in, the better I'll be able to know how they're doing in the match itself. So that constant pulse having with the wrestlers, constant eye contact, and understanding how each person's doing physically is kind of a trait that gets developed in time and is continuously being developed. But in matches, moments come up so quick. It's such a hazardous area. Even stepping inside the ring itself, someone could get injured.
Yeah.
Let alone
definitely.
putting on a match with intent. So injuries can happen. We all say our prayers and do our best to stay healthy, but we have to be in constant knowing of safety, number one, before even entering the ring. Whether that's a referee or a wrestler, safety is number one. So as a referee, I'm always looking out for the safety of each person in the match.
That's kind of fascinating, and that's impressive that you are actually able to do that. And I just want to say, Dan Perch, thank you so much for coming on today. We are just about out of time. If you guys have anything else for Perch, do you?
Well, I just wanted to let Perch know that he has organically came up with this nickname. I don't know if he knows about it yet, but there's this little thing swelling Perch. It's called, we're calling you Big Match Perch because
Big Match Perch.
When a lot of matches are happening on the independent scene that are big titles, you're the third man in the ring, during these big matches, man. So good job, well deserved. Like I said, you to me are a throwback of Tommy Young. So I love watching you work, man. Just want to say thank you for being on the pod, man, and keep it up, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, right to piggyback right off of that. Thanks for being on the pod. We appreciate it. We appreciate the work that you do. I appreciate you celebrating pro wrestling. And once for yourself, go ahead and plug your socials. Plug anything else you'd like to plug for all of our listeners out there to go ahead and give you a follow.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for those kind words. That continues to help fuel the motivation and inspiration all around. It's cool to have that energy from fans and knowing that you guys are enjoying each match, and if I can help provide to the best of my ability, then we're all having fun together. So thank you so much. And you can find me at PerchXLV, # for the ref brand, and # celebrate pro wrestling.
Awesome.
Perch, thank you so much, and please come back and see us again. It was fascinating talking to you, and I could honestly do this for hours. So thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, we had some technical issues there, but I thoroughly enjoyed talking to Dan. I want to talk to him again. I think he's got so much more stories to tell. It was really cool to kind of talk to a referee, wasn't it, guys? First time we'd had a referee on the show.
Yeah, it was really, really cool, his perspective of everything, and even like how he got into refereeing.
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting. I didn't know he was associated with the Beer City Bruiser either. That's cool.
Oh, it was awesome. It actually made me want to kind of go to ref school, like just to check it out.
Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't know there was a ref school.
See, I didn't either. Actually, I
assumed that ref schools were at wrestling schools, like they did it all
yeah,
there.
Yeah. I assume you go to a wrestling school and you go there like, hey man, I'd like to try out to be an announcer. Or a ref,
or it's like boot camp. You got to take all the bumps, and then you decide to be a wrestler or a referee.
Or a referee.
Well, if he says that in his interview, he's trained.
Yeah. So
it was really interesting.
It really was. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna bring him back and have him back on the show. And we can't wait to see him at his show. But thanks again, Referee Dan Perch, for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And we're gonna catch this guy out there on the scene here very soon. All right, AJ, it's time to close the show. Where can you get the Sit Down Marks podcast? Tell the masses.
You can get the Sit Down Marks podcast on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. There's some other ones in there, but most importantly, on SportzWire online radio right before the Thomas Bryce show at 6:15 on Friday and throughout the week.
All right. Well, time to get to those MMA picks.
Number one.
Let me.
There it is.
All right, let's get to those MMA picks here. Let's. So AJ, coming into this week, you were 27-31.
Oh,
all right.
That's
bad. So bad.
You had 4 fights to pick from. You went 2-2 in the Bellator MMA, so that will hold you up at a nice 29-33 going into the next show, which is the show that weather pending, I should be at this weekend. Brian Battle is fighting Trayshawn Gore in the UFC this weekend on ESPN Plus. Make sure you check it out. We got a big card coming here. AJ, let's make some picks. Brian Battle or Trayshawn Gore, baby?
Brian Battle, obviously.
Absolutely.
Like, come on. What kind of question is that?
Right, yeah. Alvey versus Halls.
Who was the first one?
Alvey versus Halls.
Alvey's funnier. Let's go with Alvey.
All right. Rachmanov versus Harris.
Obviously.
Harris. Maximov versus Soriano. I didn't even think about that. Maximov versus Soriano.
Did you say Maximo?
Maximov.
Well, whatever. It's Maximo in my head now, so we're going to go.
Sounds good. All right. Person. Main event. Hermanson versus Strickland.
Hermanson.
All right, Primo. Let's talk about your MMA lock of the week.
God damn it.
5-3.
He shook his head.
5-3 coming into this week. Last week, you picked Benson Henderson in Bellator.
I chose with my heart.
He won by unanimous decision.
Woo!
So he took the win. So that will bring you to 6-3 coming into this week.
I love the dude. I love the dude, but he hasn't been the same since Showtime Pettis knocked him out with that jump off the cage.
This is true. I remember that spot. All right, so we got this big UFC card this weekend. Friend of the pod, Brian Battle is fighting. Who you looking at, man? Who's your MMA lock of the week for the gamblers?
I gotta say, dude, you gotta stick with our guy Brian Battle. He is a lock. Lock it in, punch it in, whatever you want to do. Brian Battle is the guy.
Yep. Here's your chance to make some money this week.
Thought so.
He's the underdog coming in according to Vegas. So here's your chance, man. Take Brian Battle to beat Trayshawn Gore. It's going to be a big fight there this weekend. Weather pending. I'm going to be there, man. So can't wait. So all right.
Weather pen pitting.
Primo, what's going on next week on the pod, man? Or is there?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Primo. Next week on the pod has the week off as the Marks take a week off for winter break. But fear not, for I am putting together a fantastic pod for you, highlighting some of our previous interviews on the pod. We will be back the week after with a fresh new pod and an interview with a very popular wrestler from Zawa Live, which we are the official podcast of. Stay tuned on who it might be.
See, this is why you shouldn't be good at your job, because we get the week off. You have to still work. You sucker.
You're going to have to edit and put out a show. So, but yeah, next week we're taking a winter break. Primo's going to crank out an awesome show for you, and we're going to come back in 2 weeks fresh and live for you here. So, all right, guys, I'll tell you what, man, we had a freaking blast in St. Louis this weekend.
Oh my
Give me
God.
your final thoughts on the weekend before we wrap up the show here.
Well, it was obviously awesome to have third member of the podcast, Primo. Thanks for coming. It's great seeing you in person.
You for driving a long time to come watch wrestling with us.
Spent 24 hours driving, over 24 hours.
Got to hang out though. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for Dylan for coming with. So my overall thoughts on the actual card and show. I obviously being there live, it was one of the best nights ever. It was fantastic. And then watching it on pay-per-view, premium event, I could see why it got shit on a lot. Because, I mean, critically, this thing was panned big time. I can understand that, but at the same time, I can't, because we were there, and it was amazing, and I fucking loved it. It was so much fun. Like I know, the men's rumble, not a lot of surprises. Who cares? It started with AJ and Shinsuke. And
it was dope.
I even popped for Shane O'Mac, and I hate Shane O'Mac because the live experience is just so much better. So
that's true. Yeah, so the
amazing.
live experience, that's one big thing here. The energy of the crowd is a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been to a college football game or a live wrestling event, you should do yourself a favor and go to one of those two things, because experiencing a live crowd like that's on fire is amazing. Like I said, the pops for everybody that came out all night. You even get surprised for some of the people that they pop for. For instance, Mickey James got a freaking hell of a pop. Even Melina did.
Yeah, she did.
Randy Orton, because he was the hometown boy. I didn't know Reggie was from there, but he was too. Everything, dude. And it was amazing, and I loved it. Obviously, all three of us back together, first time since August.
Mm-hmm. Fucking awesome.
And I'm already looking to see where the next one's going to be. I loved it. I had such a good time. I really, really enjoyed it. And
Rumble's one of those pay-per-views, it renews every year. Like, I could go watch that every day, 30 random wrestlers coming out. Like, how interesting that. My thoughts was this pay-per-view was great. It did everything for me watching a live show. It had me going through my emotions. You know what I'm saying? The crowd was great. Thank you, St. Louis. You guys did fucking awesome that night. If nobody else has said it, I'll say it. I was there.
They did.
It was a great crowd. The Rumble will always be fun to watch live, because of the pops, and you never know
activity. Yeah,
you never know who's coming out when that buzzer goes off, and it's kind of the randomness, and is just so much fun for it. You know what I mean? So I would definitely go to one of these again. I would honestly probably go to one of these over a Mania or something. You know what I mean? Because it's the one thing that you go buy, you go watch. And it's so undetermined. You know what I'm saying? You go to a Mania, you're going to know the matches you're going to watch. X, X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? But you go to Rumble, it's like, here's a 30 women, here's a 30 man. and it's
That was-
random as hell, man. You know what I mean? It could be awesome. But
That was actually going to be my last question was if you had to choose, like if someone's like, here, you have Mania tickets or Rumble tickets, you can only pick one. I would go Rumble. Like I would pick them.
Oh,
It was so much fun.
Well, I mean, technically that's what we did because the pod was originally going to WrestleMania.
right.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
However, I'm thrilled that we
Yeah.
chose Royal Rumble.
Yeah. They
Especially
announced
now
it
that
close to us too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now that Mania is 2 nights, because I'd be pissed if we picked one of the nights
Same.
that the night wasn't good.
Same. Same. Yep.
But like I said, overall, had a hell of a time. It was great. Thanks again, Dylan, for coming.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. Had a great time with Dylan. There is another note I want to say here. For anybody that's still wondering if the outside the stadium bootleg t-shirt guy is still in business, he definitely is. He's alive and well. $20 can still get you a bootleg t-shirt outside the stadium. So we seen that firsthand coming in. But yeah, so reminder, everybody, we're going to be on a winter break next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'm off to Vegas, so we'll see you guys soon. Quick announcement. Your boys, the Sit Down Marks podcast, in conjunction with SportzWire Online Radio, we are coming to the Northeast Sports Channel on Roku. So if you got a Roku, go download that Northeast Sports Channel. You can listen to the Sit Down Marks channel through there. Really excited about that. Thomas Bryce is working hard, getting our pod out there, getting the name out there. Man, this guy is making some moves here, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure
Can't thank him enough. Quit looking at that trophy. Really can't thank him enough in all seriousness. He's awesome.
Right. He is,
fantastic.
man. All right, guys. It's time to go home, man. Any last notes here before we go?
I'm going to miss you guys next week.
Yeah.
Sucker.
The last time we took a week off, it felt so long.
It did, yeah.
Did.
But yeah. So as far as notes go, AJ,
Acknowledge me.
and that we'll be pumping out this episode this coming week with some of our best of interviews. Be sure to check it out, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh, no. I'm waiting. Grab your kick.